Hello guys, welcome to the stream for the quick audio test.
Right, audio should be better now. I forgot to unplug my headphones first. Now, audio should sound good. Hello guys! Yeah, the audio is working, I just tested it then. Yeah, basically you have to unplug my headphones, plug them in again, unplug them, and then plug them in again to get them to sound normal? I don't know why. Anyway, we're here in X-Plane. Yeah, so this may come as a bit of a surprise to everybody. I mean, here we are. But there is a reason why. Well, you know the new flight sim? Yeah, I kept having crashes with that very frequently, like really frequently, and I traced it to the AI. Now, the one fun part about a game that doesn't work when you fly out on that sim, because the planes are rubbish, is that you've got AI, and you can fly with them. However, it kept crashing. They said they patched it, they didn't, and I sent them a bug report on the 21st of December before the patch, and received an automated response saying, hey, try this. Obviously, I'd already tried these things because it's on their website. On the 23rd, after the patch, when it hadn't been patched, I wrote them another bug report, and guess what? I got the same template email back, and later that day from Zibo, they sent me a reply on my bug report from the 21st saying, hey, there's a new update. Let's see if that fixes your problem. So, yeah, basically, in short, it's quite obvious they don't really know what's going on. And I'm, to be honest, sick of that game. They changed how the rudder works as well, which made it pretty difficult to use without, it made it quite difficult to use without, what do you call it? Okay, yeah, it made it quite difficult to use without any kind of, add-on. You know, any kind of anything. Just basically a pain, that game. So we're here in X-Plane. I bought it. It was on sale. And we've got the Zibo mod. I've already bought the Flight Factory for 20 as well. But we're here in the Zibo. This is the free aircraft. And one thing, just to be clear, I do have to fiddle around with a couple of controls before we get started today. Just little things. Obviously, it seems as if I do need to reverse, then go. For some reason, the flaps don't need to be reversed on the axes, but all the others do, I think. And there's a couple of other little controls, so I think this one is supposed to be the parking brakes. Luckily, it has a very handy search feature. I absolutely love how you set things in X-Plane. Right, that's parking brake. That one, I can't remember what I got these set. I literally never use these. This one, I believe, is arm spoilers, so we'll set that to... Oh. Is there not a button to arm spoilers? Maybe not. That's a bit weird. Spoiler. Okay, yeah, there doesn't seem to be an arm spoiler system, so we'll leave that. Okay. That's fine. And... I mean, to be honest, that's about it, really. It was just the parking brake button that I had set wrong, and a couple of my axes were a bit backwards. Oh, yeah, one thing as well, that button there. Hold reverse. Throttle, hold reverse, thrust at max. Okay, that's actually done by default. That's cool. Alright, we'll leave it at that for now, then. We'll see what we get later on. Hopefully, my axis is working fine now. It is perfect. Right, let's jump inside the cockpit. I mean, straight away as well, one thing that really impressed me with X-Plane in my opinion, the default scenery and the planes actually look better than the new flight sim. What do you think? And the FPS is awesome as well. Right now I'm getting 55 FPS while streaming, which is more than about 10-15 more than I was getting in the old flight sim. So pretty amazing. Anyway, let's get into our flight today then. So another cool feature is this tablet here, AffyTab. I've linked it up to my Navigraph account, and if you see, we type in, we're at Porto. We're not flying on a network, by the way, today. I'm just trying to get to grips with this plane and this game a little bit, so none of that. And you can see here, if we go to charts, boom, here we go. Let's have a quick look at the airport chart, and you can see, here we are. And it's from Navigraph, it's all loaded in. I mean, come on. You can't say no to that. That is just awesome. Anyway, we'll go back to that later. So we're going to start the flight leg, which just starts with a bunch of stuff, basically. And we want to start surface cruise on ground. Again, doesn't really do a lot. Just kind of makes everyone aware that we're starting. Okay, so let's get on with our actual flight today. Now, today we are actually using On Air Company, as there was a flight going from here down to Verona. I was planning to fly in the new flight sim in the TBM, but I think it's pretty good that we fly here. Now, our plane is being flown over from Lima Papa Mike Romeo by a bunch of AI pilots. It's just about to touch down now, so I won't be able to start it yet, the flight. So we're going to get on with our planning. Running nav data, as usual, so nothing unusual there. So yeah, let's get on with our actual flying for today then. Let's get on with it. So, we are here. I haven't found a, by the way, I haven't found a way of doing, like, typing appearing in there, which is fine. So, LPPR, and we're heading down to Ally PX. Flight time about 2.5 hours this morning. Call sign is going to be MAD, for Mad Chili, Mad 001. Just saying, we are using the Fly 2 livery. I just thought it was one of the best liveries that we could have used. That's why we're using it. So I'll go to our performance in it. We're using cost index of 25 today. Right, now we need to plan our route, our payload, basically. Now, we're only taking 2 passengers down to Verona this morning. And this, we need On Air Company for this, because it auto-sets our weight. It auto-sets everything. So we need them. We need that. Okay, in fact, the plane has just touched down in Porto, and it is currently taxiing. So we need that, because On Air knows exactly how much fuel we have. It will also set everything in accordance with what we should have. So while we're waiting, we'll get the flight directors on left side and right side, and we'll set the current QNH as well, because this game, again, X-Plane, big bonus, has live weather. I mean, it's a little bit dodgy, I will admit that. It doesn't seem to be the best. However, it's certainly good enough that you can fly on an online network without the need for active Sky. I'm just going to bring up the Porto Meta, because you can see currently we're at about 40 feet. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit higher up than that. QNH, yep, is 1031, so we'll just bring that in now. There we go, QNH 1031, because unlike FSX or anything else, okay, the reason I'm using a 737 is because it's basically, there's not a great selection of prop planes in this game. I was really hoping to get kind of a another job from Porto over to Verona. However, the FBO kind of jobs don't refresh until this afternoon on Air Company, so I couldn't get a job down to Verona, so we're just kind of doing that. It's better than flying a prop. My company has quite a bit of money at the moment, and since this is an outsourced job bringing in 5 million, the amount of money it brings in is worth using the 737, because I wanted to stream it and all the rest of it. It wasn't just for the purpose. Right, hopefully, I don't know what's going on really. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Our plane is now available in Porto. So we're going to load on, our passengers going down to Verona, just 2 of them, obviously. No need to take on board any fuel, I don't believe. We currently got £28,000 of fuel, so we don't need any more. So we'll put on board those passengers and then confirm and go fly now. And we'll plonk on board a co-pilot, because we do need one of those. And we're flying down to Porto. So, no, not Porto, what am I on about? LIPX, which is Verona. Just wait for the apron work to finish, and we can start that. It'll auto-set all our weights then, and I can get them punched in automatically. It does do it all in pounds, unfortunately. Oh, I can change the Zibo. We're cruising today, by the way, at 390, so we'll just set that in there. Actually, we're going up to 400 as our maximum, so we'll set that. The rest of it can just stay as is. There you go. Loading is all done. Obviously, it's a very short amount. Right, go to flight tracking page, and we can get on with our flight. You can see there's a little message from On Air down there, and it should basically just load us up automatically, hopefully. So when I click start tracking, it should automatically fill up the plane with what it needs.
Time in the simulator went backwards.
What?
From 9:12 to 9:12.
Oh, okay. That's a bit weird. What do you mean? Okay, it started. Don't worry, guys. It started. It's being a bit funny. It has started successfully. Right, okay. So you can see there, look, it set all the fuel automatically. 12,700 kilograms. I believe that must be accurate, right? I mean, I will just convert £28,000 just to check. It is about 12,700 kilos, so I'm absolutely fine with that. That means it has said it correctly. Our payload is actually very low. It's about £390, I believe. And it's about 780. So 780 pounds to kilograms. We are having 350 kilograms payload on board today's flight. In fact, I can literally just knock them on now. So it's going to be two people there. Wait, what? Okay, I don't quite know what I'm doing. Let's just punch in the payload total, which is 780. Plug that in there, and it's auto-loaded it all successfully. So we'll head back to payload and leave it on that screen for now then. And so we'll put in the zero fuel weight, which should be automatic. Yeah, 43.9. We're looking at takeoff weight. So ground weight is 56.7. This is saying 56.4. Obviously, that's our ground weight versus takeoff weight. We'll burn a little bit of fuel on the way. Reserves is just 2. Obviously, we've got way too much fuel for this flight. However, that's because of whatever. We're cruising today at flight level 390, and cruise winds are going to be. Well, this is what I love about X-Plane. This plane is free. Like, this is the Zibo mod. It's absolutely free. Winds are 343 at 038, and it's actually a really good plane. Really high detail. Right, there we go. Execute that then. ISO deviation is -8. So we'll plug that in. -8. There we go. So that calculates all the rest of it for us. Awesome. So, do we need to do anything else on that page? No, we don't. So N1 limit, we're going to do a D rate of 1, I think, on both takeoff. We're going to do flaps 5 here today. Centre of gravity is in there. And we just want to set the trim then. Does this do the trim? It does. We want to set the trim to 6. So looking at that number there, look. There we go, that looks back perfect. And there we go. So that's that done. Now let's get sorted for our departure. So runway 17, it's going to be the Bald 8 Lima out of here today. And also I will just demonstrate to you guys another pretty awesome little feature of Avitab. If you just give me a minute. Pretty awesome feature of Avitab this. So I just need to give me a bit of time so I can put this in where it needs to be. But this has got to be one of the best things ever. So I've just downloaded my flight plan, yeah? Just downloaded my flight plan, and I'm going to pop it in charts. So now, if I go to charts, Avitab charts, boom, and there we go. There is our flight plan in the aircraft. I mean, how amazing is that? Seriously. And then there's our route, look. So from Baldu, it's direct to Cannar. It's quite a long route, this, by the way. Just saying. So from Beldu it's direct to Cannar. From Cannar it's direct to Adoro. I'm not going to do it off that page actually, because I have to look over with the camera every time. Adoro. And then it's over on A43. A43 to ZMR. And then it's UN 976 to DGO. And then it is UT 429er. That's going to top 2. Obviously we did have to wait quite a while for everything to set up on our company, so this is why it's taken us a bit longer to get off the ground. Right, UN 871. Head back to Ninan. Also, for some reason, Simri found it very difficult finding a route from Porto to Verona. That's why it's so long, and it does involve going up and down altitudes a little bit. It's a bit of a stupid route, as I said. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Simri found it very difficult to find a route between these two quite large airports. I have no idea why. And Route Finder didn't have any luck either. It found a route that was 1,000 miles long. Right, UL55 to Blona. Put that in there. Blona, I don't know. Then Y11. How long is this route? To Lapri. We are coming to the end soon, I think. Lapri. And from Lapri, it's direct to Avano. We have a lot of waypoints today, aren't we? It's only a sort of 900-mile flight. It's going to be the one in the northern hemisphere, I think. To TZO. And that's going to be Trezzo, or both of them are Trezzo. It's going to be the VOR, I'm pretty sure. To activate that, execute, and then arriving, we're going to be using the ILS 04 with the Ablid transition on the Tango Zulu Oscar 2 Juliet. So it's there, the 2 Juliet. Punch that in, execute, there we go. Flight perfect is all in there. Cruising at flight level 390 for the first bit. So it's 390 for the first bit of the flight. Just need to sort something else out actually. Our route has slightly changed because of stupid altitude restrictions that this thing keeps putting in. As I said, it's a bit of a dumb route, unfortunately. In real life, you'd probably get a bit of a better route plan, and they'd probably sort something out. But it's direct now to... It's direct to Zulu Mike Romeo there to try and sort out some navigation things. Okay, we are now actually staying at 400 all flight. So I'll just pop that in. 400. So now staying at 400 all flight. Cruise winds are now 341 at 38. And ISO deviation is still -8. Okay, so it's not a lot of change, just a little bit there. So flight level 400 the whole way, pretty much, and that's good. Flight time's going to be 2 hours and 24 minutes approximately. We'll be down to flight level 390 at Nedru, and then up to 400 at Lapri. That's all there is today, and that is about it. So let's get on with our flight. So this can go into the progress page. You can see there 938 miles. That looks about right. RTO on the auto brakes, and let's get everything set up. So now the takeoff V-speeds may have updated. No, they're still okay. Excellent. So it's going to be a V1. Why didn't I check? It's going to be a V2 speed of 138. And the weights are correct, yeah? Takeoff weight of 56.7, that was about what it was, wasn't it? Sometimes it can be a bit wrong, this aircraft. And I've got no discontinuities, that is perfect. Okay, set our squawk to 2200. Doesn't really matter. Just standard IFR. Tune it to VATSIM Unicom, even though we're not on VATSIM, because it's quite a nice thing to do. And I think we should be good to depart, so we can go ahead How do I end the service crew on the ground? Who knows how I do that? What we're going to do actually, we're going to... So our parking brake's already set actually, so we can remove the chocks. And we're going to start up the APU now. Get the fuel pumps on as well. We need the centre tank, because we've got lots in the centre tank today. Even if we're not supposed to. That's just what On Air Company is saying. And we'll let that all start up. 40,000 feet is in there, yeah. Perfect. We'll get the packs off for engine start as well. And we'll get the electric gens on. We'll get the Pro Peats on. And that should be about it, I think. I've got it configured in a turnaround state, so it shouldn't take too long. And we just want to quickly head... How do I do this now? How do I shut the doors? I know this sounds pretty stupid, but actually, how do I shut the doors? I thought it'd be in here, but obviously not. It's... Rep? Like, isn't it in a tab somewhere? Like, it's not in the other tab, it's somewhere else. Not checklists and procedures. Oh dear, why can't I remember how to shut doors? Oh, here you go, doors. It was a page, that was a bit stupid. Right, close the cargo doors, that means everything will be closed. I don't know why we're still hearing people loading on. What if I make the welcome announcement?
Good morning, folks, from the flight deck. Get your captain for the ride. It looks like it should be pretty good. So, we're planning on a smooth ride. Get you there as soon as we can.
Just said that. The amount of times you said we're planning on a smooth ride then.
Welcome aboard.
We'll just make sure that the centre of gravity is absolutely correct. 16.2. Again, that does look quite low. I mean, I know we haven't got many people on board. Yeah, it is 16.2. Okay, good. Right, we're ready to go then. Obviously, I'm quite new to this mod, so I don't fully trust it yet with all its things. Right, going to be heading about 170 out of here. VNAV and LNAV. Initial climb, we'll just set it right up to our cruise altitude of 40,000. I'm going to use my third monitor for charts, because I just prefer it. Actually, you know what? What with having On Air Company up, let's use this for charts. Let's have a go. So, airports, we've got all that started first. And then we also want to get the departure up. So it's going to be the Bellevue 8 Lima. And you can see there it is there, look. So, departure, left turn then. So, above 3,000, above 4,000, above 7,000, above 10,000. That's absolutely fine. Cool. So, funny moments compilations. Maybe. Maybe. Right, well, I'm the auto throttle, because why not? Flaps can get set to 5. Right, APU power needs to go on. That means that we can disconnect the GPU and better push back.
Ground to cockpit. Please show
Again,
me where you want to go.
Free. This is a free add-on. Allows us to decide where we want to put our plane, which is really cool. Really cool feature. However, one thing I haven't realised is where do I actually need to go? So we're going to runway 17. So we want to push left. Yeah, we're going to push this way. So we're going to go back here, I think. No, we're going 40,000 feet. It's easier. It's better. That's what we've been given. Right, accept plan.
Stow is driving up.
So we'll let that happen. And everything's looking good up there, so that's all fine. Get the engine detail page up now. Flaps are set to 5 for takeoff, so that's good. Yeah, this plane is really nice. I do really like it. Right, let's get a TCAS turned on as well. I mean, maybe we could wait, but why not? And there we go. What do I mean altitude disagree? Oh, this is one of those settings I keep changing. Some things about this Zibo, they don't seem to sync. So I make changes to the settings, and then some of them do sync, but some of them don't. Right, let's release our parking brakes. Are they going to start pushing us back? Oh dear. Okay, I don't know what better pushback is doing. It's not actually doing anything though. Did I break better pushback?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, you know what, actually, let's get our seatbelt signs on. And the chimes on. Maybe that'll make everyone back there sit down.
Captain Hatcher on the fasten seatbelt.
There you go.
Kindly do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt.
Hopefully people will actually sit
As a
down.
reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly tilted.
Right.
All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Oh, are they going to start pushing us now or what? What is Better Pushback actually doing? Do we not have a beacon on? Let's get our beacon on.
So connected and bypassing.
Hang a minute. As well, I've literally just noticed we don't need to have the spoilers in reverse axes. It was just earlier. Because all of a sudden now, yeah, wasn't like that.
You may start the engine.
Excellent. So, gonna start engine 2 first.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in.
I want the APU bleed on, by the way. There we go. So engines are starting up now. Up go the engines. If 40,000 feet is what I've been given today, and then it's 39 after that. Anyway, introduce fuel
Flight
for...
will be monitored until you land and
What?
shut down
Oh.
the engine.
One thing that does confuse me about X-Plane is the way you move up switches like that. There's different ways of doing it, and it's a little bit confusing for me. Anyway, back we go then. Pushing back from the gate. All well. Taking us a little bit longer, so we had to wait, obviously, for that thing, but no problem. Right, let's get engine... There we go, this is going to continuous now, and the other engine can fire up. The sounds in this are really nice as well. I love the default scenery though. It's the default scenery that impresses me most about this game. X-Plane. You know, the default scenery is just so much better than any other flights I've ever played before. It's actually got, you know, custom buildings and things. Right, introduce fuel engine number 1. There's no wing view as such, however we have got this nice view. Right, engines are almost fired up. This can just go on to Avitab now. I'm going to do a backtrack down the entire runway, by the way. There we go. Okay, this engine can go into continuous now as well. I always thought because it said auto, we didn't have to move it. However, we're okay.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
I mean, generally in real life, you would always get a push back because
Disconnecting.
reversing is quite bad, but I guess. Anyway, right, taxi lights can come on now, and we want to get engine gens on. That means we want engine power. Then APU off, APU bleed off. We may get an air conditioning warning. Oh, we don't. Great. I was when I was doing that yesterday, but then it caused an oxygen lack in the cockpit, which almost made my character pass out. I've disabled that system now just in case. Right, disconnect. Push back now. Lighting on that looks a bit funny. Who knows? I suppose some weird reflection. I've got the settings set pretty high, so we're getting good 40 FPS. So the plan here, actually, I thought we'd have to backtrack the whole runway. We can actually go down Taxiway Foxtrot and join there and backtrack that, so that's a bit less to backtrack.
So is disconnected and bypass
accidentally
pin
flicked
has
that.
been removed.
Get
And
that on
signal
to-
on the left.
back to normal
we'll
mode.
See you next time and have a safe flight.
There we go. Alright, so I think we should be good to go now. Is that? I think, obviously we'll do a quick recall, and we're good. So let's go. Power it up. Release our parking brakes. The sounds though, they are amazing. Now, nose wheel steering should start working when I press the A key. No? What did I do yesterday then to get it to work? I did something yesterday that allowed it to work all of a sudden. Nose wheel steering, because again I can't really use anything else for the steering. Okay, nose wheel steering. Yeah, A. That's laminar though, so maybe it's this one. We'll assign this one to A.
Pushback failure. Your flight controls are preventing me from steering the aircraft.
What?
Unbind any buttons you have set to toggle nose wheel steering.
I don't know what it means by that. Weirdly though, this method of control doesn't actually do a lot. I'm pretty sure nose wheel steering is supposed to do a bit more than this. So that's the thing, I banged this to A, but it didn't do anything, so we'll bang this one to Z. There you go, that's better, look. So that key there, look, is the better one. Right. So it's acting down Foxtrot now. And I've got that set to how I want it, I think. Finally. So it is the Z key. It's whatever that key is. However, you seem to need to fiddle around with it first. I don't really know why. Right. Reduce the power a little bit. Look at those sounds. Just hear those sounds when you, like, start revving down the engine. It's just amazing. I don't know. I love the sounds in this game. I've missed out on X-Plane, I think, for a while. I mean, I always thought that maybe the second-hand market wasn't quite as... No, not the second. What am I on about? That the add-on market for X-Plane was always a little bit worse. However, saying that, it's actually been okay. By the way, I just realised my FPS counter is in the stream. I don't know whether... does anyone mind that? I mean, I can't move it, I don't think, anyway. And I'd like to know what my FPS is. Right. On go the line lights. On goes the runway turn off lights. Off go the taxi lights. So we taxi onto the runway. We're going to go round now and do the whole runway. Obviously, I mean, how long is it anyway? It is 11,000 feet, so we could probably... I think we're going to go full length. Because we can't take off from there anyway. And is this thing got a toga button? Because I didn't see one. Doesn't appear to have a toga button, so we'll have to set the power manually. Obviously, in real life, you have to set the power manually in a 737 or most of the Boeing aircraft. However, they normally install a little sneaky toga button. The developers of Boeing aircraft, like PMDG do it and Quality Wings did it, where like one of these little bolts or just some random thing around here, there's like an invisible button. It's invisible to hurt, so it doesn't hurt the realism, but it does mean that you have to find it, which isn't always as easy as maybe you'd think. Right, we'll put up the power a little bit actually, because we're going down the runway. But yeah, the scenery in this game is what impresses me. It looks so amazing. Like, this is from default. That's the crazy thing. Like, it's absolute from default, which I just think is mad. That this game is like this from default. It's kind of crazy. Also, you can walk around the cabin. I'll give you a cabin walk later on. Are these two avio tabs linked? Oh, they are. Okay, I wasn't sure. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the runway now. Is there a turnaround point on the runway? It looks like there is. So we'll take full advantage of that. And then we'll bring up this chart here, look. By the way, in the Flight Factor A320, you can actually browse the internet. I mean, yeah, you can actually browse the internet. It's crazy. Oh! Rip. I think I've slightly... Oh, I've hit my seat as well, actually, in the cockpit. So I can't move the camera how I'd wish. You can actually hide the seats, however I haven't bothered with that. There you go, pretty good turning circle this, with this nose wheel steering. So we'll roll to the runway. Obviously we're offline, so that's why I'm not checking for any ATC or anything. Where is... There you go, I got stuck on my seat then. That was annoying. The camera controls in X-Plane are a little bit, like, difficult. I'm sure there's a way to change a default seating, but if you ever go outside, the only way to get back in again, I think, is by pressing W, but then you have to move around the cockpit every time, which is just slightly annoying, but it doesn't really matter. So I'm sure there's a way to change it. I haven't really got to grips with X-Plane yet. Right. Away we go. 40%. Engines are good. Start the clock. Toga. There we go. Away we go. I tried that, yeah. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't really work properly at 80 knots. It tries to get you to sign in, and then sort of breaks. Yeah, I don't know. V1 or rotate. So yeah, sadly, YouTube and basically any service you have to sign in for doesn't appear to work properly. However, it was quite useful for some things, like VATSIM map and things. Works on there. There you go, we're in the air now.
400.
Positive rate. Gear up. Also, bonus of X-Plane, my overlay works with it. Right, there's 1,000 feet. Anti-skid off. There you go, these can go into auto. Runway turn-offs can come off. And there you go, we're flying out of Porto. Flaps 1 now. And flaps up. And autopilot in. And there we go. That is us safely in the air. This thing's just going to gain speed now. I think we've got a speed restriction of 250. There you go. It has suddenly realised that. It may go slightly over 250 when we will receive a bit of a penalty from on air. However, there's nothing I can really do about that. Transition altitude here. I believe it said 4,000 on the FMC. Yep, 4,000. So we'll go standard pressure at 4,000 feet. And there we go, up we climb. I mean, and also, yeah, there you go, look at the terrain. I mean, I think it looks better than the new flight sim even. At a push, right, standard pressure. I need to go standard pressure on both sides because it doesn't sync. Even though I set that in the settings, I don't know why it does that. And so there's some settings in this game that no matter how much I set, don't seem to save. Some of them did save though, which is what made me get a bit confused. Right, everything's looking good then. Now, on the departure, we'll keep an eye on our plane there. We'll just close the chart for the ground chart. It's so cool that, I think. So cool. Anyway, up we climb then. FPS is looking really good. We've got over 40. You can see there, a little warning for going over 250 knots. I mean, come on. I think the developer did say they put in a contingency, so I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. I mean, it's 251 knots. I'm pretty sure... I think unless you go above like 260, you generally never get anything from a controller telling you that you're speeding. Like an F-Road controller probably wouldn't mind 251 knots. I'm not even sure if it would probably be noticeable. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know, the smooth FPS on that screen down there as well in X-Plane is really noticeable. It's just really cool. Just overall really cool. So up we go then. I mean, this flight would have taken forever on a TBM, so I'm kind of glad we did it in this play anyway. And a TBM would have taken a good few, probably would have taken a good hour longer. So right, coming up to 10,000 feet now. So we're climbing pretty quickly. There's 10,000 feet. Off go the landing lights. And the plane trims itself there and starts to gain speed. We'll put this up to 80 nautical mile range there. Hide the yoke as well, just make our life a bit easier. And there we go. Right, seatbelt signs can come off now, as we are pretty steady. Okay, this game just looks amazing. I mean, hopefully the weather in Verona was quite nice. I tried landing in... what do you call it? I tried landing in Santiago. Oh, it's very loud out here as well. I don't know how I'm supposed to do anything about that. But yeah, I tried landing in Santiago and the live weather messed up a bit, and I don't know what happened, but the weather basically appeared way lower. Like, the clouds appeared way lower than they actually were in real life. And I ended up kind of missing the runway, because I thought I could take, I don't know, it was a bit of a mess really. And also, a strange bug where the throttles didn't, they wouldn't disengage for some reason, even though like, the auto throttle was turned off. And then on top of that, I had set my brakes to brake smoothly. Now I've just set them to full brakes. I didn't realise that was a thing. yeah, and explain. So I set the brakes to the control that doesn't use full brakes ever, which was a bit weird. So that was fixed. So hopefully that won't happen today. I mean, hopefully today we should be able to see the runway anyway. So the weather in Santiago wasn't reported as being as low as it was. So I wonder, actually I respawned in at Santiago and the weather was nowhere near as bad. So I wonder whether something went slightly wrong with the live weather. Obviously it's not being done by Active Sky, so maybe, you know, it's probably not going to be the most accurate if it just comes free with the game. However, it's the wind that matters more. I mean, it seems pretty good. I will keep an eye on it throughout today's flight. Right, there we go. So we're in the air. Now, unlike the Avatar that we're given on the EFB we're given on the Airbus, the flight factor, there's not quite as much you can do on this one. However, we have got a map of where we're going, which is really cool. And you can bring up extra little things as well, little waypoints. You can bring up different ILSs. So there's some cool stuff you can bring in. And then you can change as well what map you want as well, which I quite like. And then once we've got open street maps. I think we're going to use X-Plane default maps. I quite like the look of that, so you can see. It doesn't tell us where we're going or anything, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, that aside, we'll go back to Avitab now, I guess. You can also plan a route for your flight. You can also look at charts that you downloaded, rather than link them up to Avitab. So there's that. But it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this, gotta say. We'll just put the AFB back to the home page now, because we don't really need that anymore. We don't need it until a bit later. It's quite a long flight, this. Right, we'll set the heading round now to our present heading. FPS right now, you guys can probably see it. I don't actually know which one they are. I think there's frame actual and frame sim. I don't quite know what the difference is. It seems that they're roughly running at 38 FPS, so pretty good. For some reason, none of the Steam FPS things or anything like that work in this game, unfortunately. I don't know why. It disappoints me a little bit. Hopefully, I don't know yet. So you can see there, look, showing cockpit, and that's kind of all we can do. And it doesn't appear that I can move it either. So we're stuck with that up there. Hopefully, you guys are okay with it being there. Yeah, this game looks amazing. I mean, look at the terrain down there. I'd say that looks very similar to the new flight sim. And if I was to download Ortho for XP, which I haven't, because I believe it takes up an awful lot of space. I'm pretty sure it takes up like 8 terabytes or something. If you get the whole world, I don't know. Well, maybe not even the whole world. It depends on what zoom level you do, but I'm pretty sure it's very large. Actually, you know what? Let's lock the gear. We didn't do that. We do have checklists if we want them. Oh, rip. That's why the autopilot comes out. If you accidentally knock the trim, that must be why the autopilot came out for me yesterday. You just accidentally knock the trim with your mouse wheel. That's quite annoying, actually, because it's quite easy to knock it with your mouse wheel. Just check that so that speed there, like if you notice the speed for flaps 40 looks a bit low, normally because the payload hasn't synced. However, in this case I think we are actually just very light, because remember, despite having slight excess fuel, we basically got no payload on board at all. We literally have 2 passengers. So that kind of that's kind of why. ETA about 12 o'clock, that's what I was thinking beforehand as well. About 12 o'clock Zulu. Saying 11:54 on there on our overlay, so that's a little bit odd. 11:53 now it's saying, our overlay. Also, I did punch in cruise wind, so the ETAs should be roughly accurate. I can't wait to fly the Flight Factor A320. I haven't actually done a full flight in it. I've kind of experimented with it and downloaded a couple of liveries and looked around the EFB and things, but I haven't actually flown it, so it'll be interesting to do a flight in that next week. We'll probably do a stream on it next week. Because this is my primary flight sim, definitely. That new flight sim, in my opinion, it's had its chance with me. It's been here 5 months, and it is still a buggy mess that crashes every half an hour as soon as you go near the AI. So you can't use AI. Real-time online AI doesn't work because there's no traffic about at the moment. You know, and then you're talking online flying, apart from the fly-by-wire A32NX, which still isn't totally finished. All the other things in that game are rubbish and nowhere near online quality. The game itself, oh yeah, the live weather can't go longer than 3 hours without just bugging out completely. So basically, it's a pretty rubbish game. I don't like that new flight sim. I mean, sadly, no matter how good it looks, can't look. And then there's the obvious, you know, the airports actually look inaccurate. Like, even though they look good, they're totally inaccurate. Like, the place of the parking positions, the place of whatever, they're so inaccurate. Even big airports like Gatwick, without scenery installed, the parking positions are totally wrong. I mean, stand 106 is called stand 86. And then there's the fact that you can't move stands as well. You can't move stands without reloading the entire game. I mean, that's absolutely appalling. In X-Plane you can do that, in FSX you can do it, in P3D you can do it. No replay system, it's an absolute joke. All these things missing. It's an appalling game, honestly. I mean, if you want to get a private plane, fly it around and enjoy the scenery, it's absolutely amazing. However, that's not what I want to do in a flight sim. I want to fly an airliner and fly places and go on an online network. I know we're not on an online network today, that's because I'm just getting used to the plane. But yeah, for what I want it for, the new flight sim is pretty much useless. And now I've seen how X-Plane looks, I don't really care how good the new flight sim gets. Because in my opinion, this game is actually just as good, if not better. I mean, look, it's definitely not FSX quality scenery down there. That looks amazing. Oh yeah, and it has contrails as well, that's another thing. It has contrails, so can't really say no to contrails, can we? Don't think we can say no to contrails. Right, coming up to cruise altitude now. Can't actually see that other thing because the throttle's in the way. Oh, there you go, there's a flight finishing, look. That'll buy me money. I'm going to have a quick look, actually, at the rest of my on-air company. See how it's doing. I'm going to bring it over to... Oh, dear. What? Are you joking me? Not this again. Cabin altitude again. Why? What? That's all set how I want it. What? Oh. Are you joking me? Every time. Oh, my word. So last flight, I missed out the bleed, and this flight I missed out the packs. What is wrong with me? There we go. Well, hopefully that will reset. I can't believe that. Luckily it only just went over, so it should be alright. It's going to start going into the minus now to try and repair that. It only just went above 10,000 feet, so it's no issue. That will get fixed in, well, that'll get fixed really quickly, so no worry. We only just went over. There we go. Rip. Can't believe I did that again, but it was a different mistake. Anyway, that aside, yeah, you will see messages from on-air company pop up every now and then. That's just in the bottom corner. That's just because that's how the sim, that's how notifications get delivered to the sim. That's why. Just checking on all my planes, basically making sure they're going through their daily flights today. Because obviously it's a good idea to check that all, you know, with on-air company, good idea to check that all your planes are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because sometimes they don't do what they're supposed to be doing, and it's a pain. However, we should be good. So there we are, all looking good, I think. Also, oh great, right, quick, pause the game. On Air Company has just crashed, going back into the menu. So what this means, we have to just restart On Air Company basically, and we can't fly anywhere because On Air Company will think we've teleported, and it won't be very happy. So we just need to restart the flight quickly. It will allow us to just resume it in mid-air. I don't know how slew mode works in this game, or if it has it, so hopefully we haven't gone so far away that the game's freaking out on us. It's good. Good job we paused it quickly. Restart flight tracking, and then we can just unpause the game and continue. There we go. So that does happen sometimes, where On Air does just randomly crash, unfortunately. It's a bit disappointing, but it does happen. I don't know why. Obviously, it doesn't really affect us. All we have to do is just pause the game, and then we can move on once it reconnects. Keep an eye on our pressure, make sure it is still going down. You can see, there you go, the cabin altitude light is now cleared, so it wasn't too bad of a mistake, that one. We noticed pretty quickly, obviously that's why those things appear. Cruising at Mach 0.75 at the moment, so a little bit slow for Ghost Index 25. No, I mean Mach 756 is a bit slow, I think, for. Or maybe maybe it isn't. I mean, true airspeed of about 430 knots. We're not at cruise yet. Keep that in mind. But yeah, for a Ghost Index of 25, I think that is a little bit low. Doesn't really matter though. Whatever it is, we're able to maintain a pretty good climb. Yeah, we'll have a quick look. I'm fairly certain I set Cost Index 25. Yeah, I did. In fact, I actually updated the speed to make me slower. Great. Doesn't really matter. So our ETA currently is 11:59 because I updated the speed slightly. RIP. Yeah, I don't know what we needed for the slope speed. It's a bit random. Mach 7.5 is a bit slow. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're having a good flight. We'll say we're just about to level off. Different camera views we're experimenting with here. And we have got this camera. And then we go back to cockpit view then. With shift 7, although we can't move it. There we go, we need to press W. And there we go. So we're up to 40,000 feet now, so I think we'll do a little cabin tour. Another cool feature that you can do in X-Plane that you can't even do in many of the Sims. This sort of camera movement around. You do have to move sideways though, that's a little bit of a shame. I'm always careful to not bump into things, however that does sometimes happen. There we go. So we'll do a quick carry tour. Here we go, back in the economy seats. We have got in-flight entertainment and the like. Should we do a quick wing view? I love this. This is really cool. I mean, come on. You can't even do that in, like... I don't think you can do that in any other sim, can you? We'll go for a bit more of a wing. I love looking at the winglets. I think they look really cool. kind of, it tells you which airline you're flying on as well, which I like. How about here? What was that sound? See there's the Fly 2 kind of logo. There you go, this is a cool seat. I mean, look at this. I just love this. I mean, that looks so good, doesn't it? I mean, it's a shame they got their window blind down. Is there anyone that hasn't got their window blind down? There you go, they haven't got it down. We'll be able to see more. I mean, look at that. That's just cool. Like, and then go back to the cockpit. We'll just shut the door. You know, security and all that. I mean, technically, I don't think we're supposed to leave it open, but we'll just forget that's a thing. Anyway, yeah, we are cruising a bit slowly. Only 433 knots true airspeed, which I'm a bit surprised about, really. I don't know why so slow. For Ghost Index 25, that does seem a bit slow. Maybe it's just me. I mean, maybe it's the wind that is set. I don't know. Could be to do with the excess fuel we have on board as well. I don't know whether that limits it. Because obviously normally I wouldn't fly with, so maybe because it thinks, oh, we have so much fuel on board, we'll just try to not burn much of it. I don't know. Maybe it can't go as quickly. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. We can also move the Abby tab around as well. Oh, hang a minute. Wait, I didn't realise it could come out. I didn't realise the Abby tab came out. That is cool. I did not realise that Abby tab came out. Well, hang on a minute. That means then, guys, that we can... So you can fly, you can taxi along an airport and have the charts directly in front of you. I didn't realise it came out. I just thought it... oh, I turned it off. Sorry. That's so cool. It also displays the local time on it as well. That's cool. So it's so there you go. Look, so we're taxiing along. Look, just want to look at. That's excellent. Anyway, how do I put it back in? How do I put? Okay, the tablet's back in. I think. There we go. We're good. And then you can also tilt it around. That's so cool. You could do these things in P3D, I think, but obviously the new flight sim doesn't have it because there's nothing of suitable quality yet. I'm trying to get weather and turbulence turned on, but I can't find where the weather radar is. It's normally like a button around here, however... Like, it's normally a button about here, but I can't find one. None of these buttons are actually clickable. Maybe that's... I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure the Zibo is pretty detailed. However, again, it is like... It's quite similar to the fly-by-wire A320, this, really, the Zibo. It's kind of like... You know, so the developers have basically taken the default 737 and then basically adjusted things with it. There you go, look at that, nose view. That's so cool. Also, just ignore those like little notifications. I said they'll pop up quite a bit throughout the flight today because I'm running on air company, obviously. So that will happen every now and then, because I have got quite a few planes going about doing their thing. I just realised I'm actually level 9 now in On Air Company. Like, I've just hit it. Why didn't it give me a notification? That's quite odd. Anyway, that's weird, it didn't give me a notification. Maybe it crashed while trying to give me the notification. That might explain it. Anyway, so I've got 2 skill points. That's cool. That is cool. Don't really know what to do, actually. I mean, there's quite a few things I can do. Actually, I meant to upgrade the FBO rep. I upgraded the wrong thing. I was just thinking what to upgrade, but I forgot there was an extra logistic query one that I could get. I can't undo that now. Oh well. That's a bit stupid. Never mind. And then we'll get one of my AI pilots set on another mission. So I'm just kind of getting on with that now. Yeah, I think I found one of those now. I'll sort that out later. Yeah, those missions are great as well. The level missions to do in on there, they're great for getting a bit more money. Right, so we're descending at 11:36, so we've got about an hour and a half up here, but we are also technically supposed to go to flight level 390 at Nedru. And then at Lapri we're supposed to climb again. I don't believe you can do step climbs in the Boeing. I don't think you can. Yeah, invalid entry, that's what I thought. So, it's not very happy with that. Yeah, it's not accepting it. That's what I thought. Anyway, never mind. We'll do it when we come to it then. So it's going to be flight level 390 at Nedru, and then we're going to climb. I think it's based on the direction we're heading. We're going to slightly change what flight level we're at. And we're still over Spain at the moment. We've got about 727 miles to run direct. 760 miles in all. We'll have a quick look actually at our arrival into Verona. It should be pretty straightforward. So we basically just head down and then basically turn left into the airport. Very, very simple little approach. So that's quite nice. And obviously, yeah, so this is the reason we are doing this flight is because of a 5 million outsourced mission. 5 million coins in On Air Company. Again, so we'll keep getting those notifications there in the bottom right from On Air Company. But yeah, it's part of that. So I think my Beach King area is the plane that's doing all the others. So I had to do this one because it couldn't be flown by an AI pilot. It does annoy me that when that happens, but it's not too bad. You basically just get some that are only flyable by an AI. So, recently the outsourced job department has actually really died on this server. Currently there's only one outsourced job available, and it is again, it's like it's not actually that worth it. There's some of them that aren't worth as much as the others. I mean, it's still quite good for the amount of cargo being offered. However, it's a 2,000 mile flight that has to be flown by a person, so no chance. Obviously this flight I did want to accompany with something else, like some passengers or something, however it wasn't available. It's kind of good in the end though, because we it made our life a little bit easier. We didn't have to wait for the loading of it. Passengers, I think a full load of passengers probably takes about 10 minutes to load on an air. Now I won't normally be doing these flights with on-air company. It is a bit of a one-off today just to get a flight done. But after this we'll start doing some Fly UK stuff and some Flight 2 stuff, and we'll mix in the A320. I am looking to buy the Flight Factor 757 as well. I'm going to wait and see how I like their A320, and if I decide they're pretty good, I'm going to get their 757 as well, I think. And then I'll leave it for that then. I'm also looking at the Flight Factor 777. The 767 doesn't really have any worth for me at Fly UK. There's not really they do fly a 767, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It does about 12 flights, some of which are very long. I was looking at the Embraer 195 as well. I think that could be pretty good. The X-Craft one I was looking at, obviously the SSG do one as well, but the X-Craft one looked better. When I was looking around, it's a bit 50-50, but people were saying overall the X-Crafts. Also, I'd rather buy from them, because I've heard from other people that the SSG 747 is very poor. Apparently it's the worst Hassel for X-plane. So, and again, I was looking at the Magnite 787 as well, although it doesn't seem like that's quite the best quality at the moment. I think it is still being updated and things. But still. Well, the Magnite 787 is slowly getting there. I've noticed actually I've lost off my sim brief tab by accident. I think we should go back there. There we are. Anyway, pretty cool little flight this. We'll take a quick look outside, I think. There we go, look at that scenery. I mean, I'd like to try and turn down the sound out here a little bit, but never mind. I think there is a mould that allows you to mix the sounds, so I'll use that, because it is a bit loud out here. If you guys on the recording, it is turned down a little bit, the sound. I've turned it down a couple of decibels, but for me, it's quite loud. There is like an X-Plane audio mix, so I don't know if you have to pay for it. Who knows? Don't really know how to set that up. I don't know. I think there is a program that allows you to like mix sounds, not mix, like tone down others, so you can tone down the sound of the engines versus anything else. Because outside is a bit too loud, I think. It doesn't matter, right? How's our fuel in the centre tank doing? Yeah, we're gonna have plenty left in the centre tank even when we touch down, I think. So that's fine. Don't need to worry about turning off those engines. Everything's looking good. Do a quick recall check. Obviously, our air conditioning should have reset back to normal now. Yep, it's just under 10,000 feet. I think if we change it there, it will actually drop the. I think the altitude is supposed to be more like 7,000, 6,000, maybe a bit. Actually, maybe it's more 8,000, but it's supposed to be a little bit higher. You can reset it, but it doesn't last very long. As long as it's below 10,000, though, it's not enough to get a warning, so it's okay. yeah, this Zibo 737 is really cool. Like, I just can't really get over the fact of, well, like, say I wanted the PMDG, say I got P3D, yeah, instead of X-Plane. The price of the games, if they weren't on sale, is about the same. So that's kind of equal. But then, so say I wanted, say I wanted to push myself back. I wanted to have a bit of Grand Crew. I could have activated Grand Crew in X-Plane, by the way, if I wanted to. But say I wanted a bit of Grand Crew, including pushback systems that work properly and all the rest of it. And then I wanted the 737. So this game, that's all free. After the game, the Zibo's free. You got better pushback. You got Avitab, all those things that you can link. The game has ground services. You can get ground services in here as well. The P3D, you have to buy GSX, so that's £30. You have to buy the PMDG 737, there you go, that's £90. So already you're 120 quid out of pocket versus X-Plane. And with that £120 in X-Plane, I could probably get 2 planes with that. On top of the 737, I could get probably the Flight Factor A220, and then I could probably get, I don't know, the Rotate MD-80 maybe, or I could get, maybe at a push, it'd be a little bit over, but I could probably get the Flight Factor 757, 767, 777, any of those. So it's really cool. Really, I am looking at the MD-80, however, I've been in the game's default MD-80, it looks pretty cool, but it also looks very complicated. I'm not so good with the older planes, and they're not flown as often either. The older planes aren't really difficult. The MD-80, it's known as the Mad Dog for a reason. The Mad Dog. That's why it's called that. Although I don't really think many airlines fly it anymore. There might be a few that still fly it, but not a lot. Right, but only 36 minutes actually, so got a little bit longer to go. And I can't tell how many hours I've had on that X-Plane because none of the Steam overlays or the Steam screenshots, none of that works in X-Plane. I don't know why. In fact, I do need to figure out how to set a screenshot, how to take one. I want to take a screenshot at some point, obviously. Shift in space. Okay, I'm not supposed to take a screenshot, is it? I'm not getting any notification that is taking a screenshot. However, I think I'll believe it. For now. That it is indeed taking a screenshot. As you can see here, look, Avitab has some notes as well that you can make. Because I think on top of Avitab here, I also have actual proper Avitab, the Avitab kind of thing. You can see you got the maps. What's that? Why does that patch look so different to everything else? That looks a bit weird. See? That looks really odd. Is that how it actually looks in X-Plane? Yeah. Maybe that area of the world looks a bit funny then, if we try and fly there. That's really messed up. That satellite imagery doesn't match up. That must be a bug with Avitab. Hopefully it's a bug with Avitab, right? But you can search up airports as well, and you can get a meta about them as well. You get the although that's generally not always accurate, although you can get the ATC frequencies for an airport if you want to look at it. You can put it on a second monitor as well, that's what I like as well. You can just whack it on a second monitor if you want to. So there's quite a bit you can do with this. And then obviously we have got charts as well, proper charts that I put. You go, in fact, there you go. So you can put any PDF that you want into here, and it's basically a PDF reader. So obviously, say we've got our flight plan. Look, so I wanted, you know, what the weather is. I think I have to actually click each individual box, unfortunately. We can also flip between flight plans as well, which is cool. Okay, so it does appear, yeah, we do have to flick to all the pages individually. Obviously, charts would typically only have 5 or 6 pages, so it wouldn't be an issue. Just the flight plans have more than that, and you can see, look, there's our altitude plans. End of document, number of pages 73. It's only 73 because that's there. That's quite funny. And then say we want to check quite quickly that the wind where we currently are is accurate, you know, the online weather. That's one thing that I am really curious about with the live weather on X-Plane. So we're currently approaching Delta Golf Oscar. So I'll have a quick look where that is. We're still in Spain, man. Oh dear. Anyway, turn on the weather. It's been quite slow so far, this flight, I think. Anyway, turn on the weather, which SimBrief is refusing to do. There we go, it's worked. And then we check DGO. The weather around here at 39,000 feet, this is, at 12 o'clock Zulu, so actually we're 2 hours behind, which could make a difference. The winds currently are the same direction, about 55 knots. So the wind being 42 knots is a little bit wrong. However, if we go up to 45,000 feet, it's only 50 knots. So maybe at 40,000 feet there's a bit of a cushion, because it does go up in increments. So you know, we can't really view what it's like at 40,000. We can only view what it's like at 39, and just hope that's the most accurate. However, yeah, I mean it's 8 knots out, 8 to 13 knots. So it's not a massive amount out, and the direction is accurate. So all in all, it's not too bad. I have noticed as well, the ETA of the Zibo keeps slipping, which is really strange. The ETA is now 12:01. I mean, the winds that we set as our cruise winds are basically the exact winds we're getting right now, so it shouldn't matter. I set my cruise winds as 341 at 38, so the direction, pretty much exactly the same. Winds are slightly stronger, although, again, only by 7 knots. Wait, what's that? Oh, it's because we're turning. So we're at DGO. We're supposed to hit it 41 minutes into the flight. We're 42, so that, again, you know, our actual ETA in terms of how we're progressing along the flight is pretty much perfect. So that's good. That's nice. It's looking pretty good so far, this. Hopefully on air doesn't crash on us again. It's been pretty good at the moment, so keep our fingers crossed. Obviously going down to 39,000 feet, not for a while. And we'll be at 39,000 feet, so after Nedru it's 39,000 feet, and we're going to be there only for literally one. It's basically because we change our course slightly, so it puts us into an odd airway, an odd flight level airway. That's basically the reason. It's a bit weird, but I'm probably going to stick to it. Why not? Also, thank you guys for watching the stream. I hope everyone really enjoys it. At the moment, the channel's doing really well. 142 subs now. Up to. So that's really good. Everyone's enjoying the iRacing content on the channel, which is always good. Obviously, there's going to be some from X-Plane now. X-Plane is now going to be my primary flight sim, but I don't think we're going to use anything else other than X-Plane now. I mean, X-Plane runs amazingly. But I wish the weather radar on the Zibo works. I mean, the weather radar controls, as I said, are supposed to be down here. These are them here, but however they don't actually do anything, so that leads me to believe that the weather radar doesn't work. Weird it doesn't work, because everything else pretty much works in here. This panel does actually need a bit of lighting to be able to see anything on it at all. There you go, that's better. Wonder why the view here was quite bad on that panel. See, there's our engines. Try to move myself over here so see if we can have a look at the wing. There we go. We can see the wing from where we are. So we want to zoom in on the tablet, we can. You know what, let's bring up our arrival actually for what do you call it? Verona. You know, let's do that. Let's get everything up. So you can see there you go, elevation is 240 feet. ILS Cat 3 they've got there, that's what we're going to be using, the ILS. And then we'll bring up the chart, so we want to look at arrival. And it's the, so, is it the 2 Juliets? The one that ends at Ablid, yeah. I accidentally crossed off the entire thing then, there we go. So, bring up the charts. You can see there, that's our arrival chart, and then say we want to look at our approach chart. That's where that is. And then say a ground chart as well. You can do that. And then the really cool thing, I think, is even though the parking stands don't have like a moving map, you can actually reference them each other if you zoom in to the same point. It's a bit more difficult to do on a monitor than it is on here. You can kind of skip between them. To know kind of what you're doing. And then obviously you've got, so you go, this is our ILS chart, look, you can see here. I'm probably not going to use this AviTab anyway for charts, I think I am going to use that, but it's a cool system, whatever it, you know, whatever. Why has the camera suddenly stopped working? Oh great. I've had a weird bug in X-Plane, where the, oh dear, right, my keyboard has randomly stopped working in X-Plane. This did happen to me yesterday. It must be something that you do that causes it to happen, and I can't really figure out what it is. Are you joking me? What do I do now? Is there a button I press that, like, locks the camera? Views. Yeah, okay, so RIP, my keyboard appears to have stopped working. I think it's to do with AviTab. Maybe. Maybe I was like typing something and then, oh dear. There we go. So it's to do with AviTab, that's what causes it. It must be a little bug. Where it thought I was still typing on AviTab or something. And then you just and then literally just go in. So there you go, if that happens to you, just click on something in your AviTab, go into charts or something, and it should just reset it. That was scary for a minute then. I thought I would have totally messed that up then. And broken the game. Luckily we haven't. We'll just check my general config for things. You can see, look, the kilograms, HPA, barrel, they all saved. However, this didn't save. This didn't save. I don't know why it didn't save. So yeah, some settings save and some settings don't. It's really strange about the Zibo. I don't know why they're like that. You can see here the wind's actually picked it to about 50 knots. The wind's more like what it says it is now on the charts. Looking pretty good outside. I can see the sea. I'm not sure I should be able to see the sea. I should be able to see it off to the left, but not straight on. Unless that isn't, I don't think it is the sea actually. I think it may be a mountain and then more terrain being hidden. Oh dear, oh, there you go. My keyboard control went again then. And there you go. There we go. What I discovered actually, you can, I think, get back in the cockpit without resetting your view. Actually, I don't think we can. No, it does still reset it. That's a shame. Oh yeah, they do appear to be synced now, the two sides there. Anyway, let's get ourselves set up actually for the landing in Verona, I think. Obviously, I'm just using whatever runway was given to me by SimBrief. I'm not bothering to check whether that's correct because I'm not flying online. Obviously, I will still check the weather for the pressure and whatever. Transition altitude down there is, we're looking at 6,000. It does actually auto set it, the Zibo, yeah, 6,000. Excellent. Oh, there you go, accidentally knocked the trim again. And that turns off the autopilot. That's really annoying, that is. That's a really annoying little thing. You just knock the trim and that's enough to freak out the autopilot. And it's so easy to do, just knock it with your mouse wheel. Right, we'll check the weather down in... We'll check the METAR down in Verona. QNH is currently 1018. Let's get all these things set up actually. So we're looking... I mean, there's no actual wind to set. I'm also, yeah, check that the RLS frequencies are 111.75 and IVRN, yeah, and 044. So we'll set the course to 044. And we'll set this to 111.75. There we go, that wasn't difficult. And that's about all we need to do in terms of prep for our landing. Flaps 40, I think. Actually, we're going to do flaps 30 because 127 knots is a very low landing speed, so don't fancy that. And QNH down there currently, clouds are scattered at 8,000 feet. That's fine, so basically no cloud. QNH is going to be 1018, and winds are 240 at 3 knots. So we'll keep an eye on all of that. That wind does actually suggest that we should be using another runway. However, saying that, at Verona it is preferred that you use runway 04. That is, it's in the airport briefing as. Well, that's actually the only, it's the only runway that has an ILS or VOR or any kind of approach whatsoever. The other runway doesn't actually have, runway 22 doesn't have any kind of approach. So we're going to land and then vacate. We're going to go to stand maybe 3-1, 3-2, something like that. I don't believe we have any marshallers or anything that we can use to guide ourselves in, so that's that. This looks really good actually. Out there. Just check the pressure. I believe it probably would have given up again at trying to decrease altitude. So you can see we're down to 9,000 feet cabin altitude. Which is a little bit better. Landing altitude, we'll set that. Actually, the elevation remember was 240, so we'll set 250. And there, 250, because it doesn't do 225. But if it did, I think 250 was going to be better. So that's all set in there. Great. We're at 35 miles to go to top 2, then there'll be a little left turn, not descending down to 39,000 for quite a while. Top of descent is in about an hour, so that's pretty good, actually. But a pretty good flight, so we're tracking it on Air Company as well. Also, I've got another 737 in regular passenger service. That one is actually just about to approach Heathrow to touch down. So that's kind of interesting. That'll earn my company a decent amount of money, 2.5 million per flight. That does, which is pretty mad. You have to pay for flight attendants and things. This flight didn't need a flight attendant because there's only 2 people. Yeah, 2 people. It's absolutely insane. It's going pretty good so far today. My on-air company's being all normal, which is what we want to see. Obviously sometimes it's a bit crazy. Doing pretty good at the moment, 17 miles to top 2, that's fine. Yeah, just checking on my on-air company, it's doing well. I've been able to do pretty well, really. Obviously, I am using the bonus payment system because the 90% bonus factor on jobs, because otherwise it's basically impossible to make money on there. Even with AI pilots, it takes forever. Obviously, the outsourcing has really helped earning money on their company. It's pretty amazing that way of making so much money I found it on there. So at the moment there's literally nothing on the queue on this server for outsourcing, but I'm sure some will come along eventually for more of the outsourcing. And there you go, there's the Pyrenees, I believe, down there. Very nice looking, bit better than in FSX. The whole of Spain looks like a desert, and then the Pyrenees are just little teeny mountains that don't really have any significance. So it's nice to finally see them look a little bit more realistic. Yeah, this game does look pretty beautiful, Let's Play, and I've got to say it. I mean, right now we're getting a pretty decent 35-40 FPS while streaming, remember. While streaming. And we're on pretty much, you know, I think we're on high settings, roughly. Not sure how my 1063GB card will cope with this, but it'll be okay. Also, I only got X-Plane a couple of days ago, so I went on to install it on that PC. It's not too difficult. I mean, X-Plane's smaller than MSFS. It's about, in terms of actual download size, it was 55 gig. I think in terms of disk space, it's about 65 gigs. So it's a lot. It's about half the size almost of MSFS. Pretty insane. It does show you how big MSFS is. Again, why it's so big, considering none of the terrain. All the terrain is streamed from their servers, and X-Plane, the terrain is stored on your system. So it's a bit weird that there's that much difference in size. Makes you wonder. Anyway, because this game, I don't know, but I think it looks nicer. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually think it looks nicer. Right, 51 miles to Donut per hour in exactly. Pretty cool. I'm looking at X-Plane versus Microsoft Flight Simulator right now, by the way. It's quite funny, really. I don't know. It's looking very cool down there, though. Hey, I hope you guys do like the content on X-Plane, by the way, as well. I'm really happy that my overlay works with X-Plane. That was one thing I was really pleased about. Obviously, with the new flight sim, my overlay stopped working. However, with X-Plane, it is compatible, amazingly, so don't know what isn't compatible with MSFS. It just isn't, so there you are. Oh well, bit of a shame, but it works with X-Plane perfectly. Which is great for streaming. We're actually right now getting quite a large headwind. I've only just noticed the wind have come up quite a bit. Oh well. Doesn't really matter. I mean, at least they're matching the weather charts now. Shows that the live weather in X-Plane is actually quite good. I don't know, I'll have a look at where we are now versus what it's saying. Oh, actually, never mind. So earlier, when the weather was supposed to be... Actually, no, never mind, I'm looking at the wrong area. Where are we? Yeah, actually, I don't know. Where are we supposed to be right now? It's supposed to be like 50 knot winds. Obviously, again, this is 4,000 feet below where we are, and for 2 hours in the future. So it's kind of acceptable. I'll have a quick look at what it was like. I can't look at what it was like this morning for some reason. Normally, SimBrief lets you look at what it was like earlier morning on the same day you're flying, but it's not doing that today. The thing is, the direction of the wind is kind of is perfect. So if it's slight speed differences, as long as the direction's okay, as long as we're not doing like, if it was the correct speed but the wrong direction, we could end up being like 100 knots faster than we should be going, which obviously would cause some confusion. So it's good. Also, I don't want to get active sky if I don't have to. And it's all fine. And then we'll see what it's like when we land. I don't know, but obviously the new flight sim has that issue, MSFS, of the wind on landing kind of not going down. It's like 20-30 knots right until about 300 feet, and then suddenly the wind just disappears. Heard a little bong back there. There's no announcement followed by it though. I don't know why. It'd be nice if there were some announcements. That might be a setting. I mean, I have got auto seatbelt signs turned on, although I don't think that typically does anything. No, doesn't make a sound when I change that. But it's really nice looking, this game. I like the cameras, definitely. You can sort of mount a camera. I don't know. I think there are some camera plugins that allow you to save cameras. So maybe I'll have a look around for one of those. But you can kind of like almost pretend there's like a camera mounted to the center of the cockpit, like a 360 camera. Gets a pretty cool look. Yeah, pretty cool look doing that. Well, if you've ever seen like some of the sort of 737 cockpit videos, it's generally where the camera sits, about here. And obviously, since this game has a replay function, we can actually do that. Wait, is that a drinks table? What is... Oh, aircraft and cabin logbook. No stowage... What? No stowage this surface. No seat. Okay. I'm not totally sure if any of that really makes much sense, but okay. You can see there's local time 11:43. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's local time. It's not UTC, obviously, because obviously I don't know if there is a UTC. There is a UTC clock 10:43. So that's cool that it displays that. What I always wonder is if it runs out of it, and then also actually I've only just noticed this, but it tells you which version of the Zibo mod it is as well, which is quite cool. Obviously. They release updates for the Zibo mod pretty much every day, which is quite mad, I think. They release pretty much every day. I'm on 3.44, so 3.44 patch 30. And they pretty much release new patches every day, which is quite mad. They are still on patch 30, I've just checked now, but yeah, pretty much every day. They seem to release this. If I have a quick look, so they released, so on October 25th was when it came out. Patch 1 was on the 26th, patch 2 on the 27th, patch 3 was then November 1st, then November 9th, then November 10th, November 11th, 12th, 14th, 15th, 17th, 22nd, so pretty much, sometimes as often as daily, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and then 2nd, 4th, 5th, so that, they pretty much, 2 on the 5th, 6th, 8th, so pretty much every day, 12th, 13th, and then occasionally have a big gap, so like 20th, so sometimes they go a week without a patch. There was 2 on the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, this is December now, 24th, and then 25th. So it's pretty mad. Actually, no, 23rd and then 25th. So they release patches pretty much every day, which I think is quite amazing for a free mod. Obviously, it's version, as I said, version 3.44 and then patch 30 we're running. So 3.44.30. And it also has checklists as well. is really cool. That's full checklist. Really, really cool. Anyway, we'll just go back to that centre page now. How about we get the Avi tab open? Have a little look at where we are. So you can see here we are right now in, well, just crossing over into France. If I open the open street maps, we'll be able to see exactly where we are. You can see that's sort of the map of where we are. So coming up towards Toulouse now. Personally, I prefer X-Plane satellite maps, I think. Until I quickly move on these maps. On the OpenStreetMap you can anyway, you can't see it so much on this map, the other map, completely. But yeah, right now, satellites seem looking pretty good. Obviously, we can do this right on VATSIM as well, and that's the thing, I mean, like, if I want to play this game on VATSIM, I just can. It installs model matching for you to start with, and then you've got X-Plane. Using X-Pilot is the add-on client. It's absolutely fine. Works really quickly, so it's really cool. Some of the things you can do with X-Plane. I mean, I also just love how this game, this free Zibo mod is just, it's a game changer for the game. I mean, I know Microsoft Flight Sim is going to have a similar thing in the fly-by-wire A32NX. However, if you compare the fact that this is getting daily updates, I mean, they do daily updates on the development server. It's because of how the product's being done. That one's being done a bit more properly, rather that, you know, the fly-by-wire is being done by GitHub and it's being done in loads of little individual bits. It's more of an open source project. I don't know quite as much about the Zibo. I think they are definitely quite similar. However, as I said, I think X-Plane, I actually think, will become, along with P3D, you know, a bit more main, the main flight sims. I think Microsoft has kind of killed Microsoft Flight Sim a little bit. I don't think it will. I mean, loads of people play it. It's very popular, but I don't like it. It's not quite that good. I mean, I can't refund it now. I spent over 100 hours on it anyway. So it's okay. A little turn left, just past the Toulouse VOR, so we'll have a quick look down there. Look down, we should see Toulouse Airport. There we go. Well, that's weird. If I flip the camera up, it goes backwards. Here you go, there's a flyby. That's nice. A few storms in that cloud, but there maybe. Interesting. I hope I can do a good landing here. Obviously, we'll have our landing rate monitor watching, because I did a terrible. Obviously, I've never really landed the Zibo before, and you know, just, I know it sounds a bit weird, but I actually haven't. One thing I still haven't done, actually, I probably should have done it before, is calibrate the Zibo. You basically just need to check that all the things go back to 0, which they do, so no problem at all. We'll be able to do whether the radar on Zibo works. However, again, maybe it does, and I just can't figure it out. Or, as I said, unfortunately, I mean, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. because as you can see here, that's the weather, and yeah, well, none of it's clickable. In the PMDG, there's actually like a panel about here, same place, but like little buttons that you can press, so it's slightly different, and it allows you to specifically select weather and turbulence. So maybe that's why. And that's the thing, I mean, not everything on the Zibo is clickable, but it's still a fairly decent quality. So the quality of this plane is definitely, it's better than the base Aerosoft Airbus, I'd say. It's probably more depth than that, because things like the fire systems, they do actually work in the, you know, and then the IRS's work, and that system works. It all works. I mean, a couple of, you know, little fire systems and whatever not being clickable really isn't the end of the world, because it just isn't even needed really for the, you know, for the day-to-day flying of a plane on a flight sim. We're an hour and 15 minutes into the flight now, so the time has gone a little bit quicker, which is kind of nice. So it felt like it was going very slowly first thing this morning on this flight. And we're supposed to be descending at Nedru, and then we're going to be at 390 for a bit, and then at Lapri it's back up to 400 for literally like 40-50 miles. I do wonder what the point of that is. It's to do with the direction that we're changing, and then it's the full-on descent then. We haven't got any restrictions apart from 210 knots at Ablid on the arrival, and you can see there 210 knots at Ablid, and then onto the ILS. It is 5,000 or above at Ablid, 4,000 or above at Givat, and 200 knots or below, and then Ermob is just fine. Pevik is where the glide slope starts, and it starts at 3,000 feet, so that's where we want to be. So that's absolutely fine. And then once we touch down, obviously, runway 04, vacate probably on Whiskey, which is pretty much right at the end. However, it's pretty much the first point we come across on the right, so we'll probably be setting water brakes 1, I should think, because we've got to go the full length of the runway, and then taxi off at Whiskey, and then probably stand 3-2, 3-2, yeah, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, something like that. The jetways in X-Plane are static, so it doesn't matter whether we're going to a jetway stand or a remote stand. I was a bit disappointed by that the jetways are static. There is a plugin called AutoGate that makes them automatic. However, it only works on add-on airports. It doesn't work at default scenery. And then there is also like the SAM jetways. Yeah, that's the one we want. SAM World jetways. It adds to all default jetways. It basically animates them all, so. That is a bit more cool. So that's a pretty good little add-on I think we'll get, maybe. Right, Meta, haven't had one through yet. The last one was 35 minutes ago. It's VFR weather down there, so that's nice. Not to be flying crazy low visibility for once. Yeah, one thing that has made me wonder about this Zibo though is like the very low speed, like Mach 0.75. I think typically you do Mach 0.77 in a 737. at cost index 25, so I am a little bit suspicious of that. I said it could be because of the high altitude, it could also be because of the fact that I basically have nothing on board. Yeah, we're still cruising. It's quite a long flight, this one, actually. Surprising. It's a 2 hour and 24 minute flight. I don't think it'd be so long, really. I mean, we've got some. We have got a bit. Well, actually, we didn't even have much of a headwind on this flight. We had a headwind overall of about 7 miles, so it's like we're flying 146 miles. It's just quite far, I guess. But, you know, we're descending in about 40 minutes. Well, 39 minutes, so slowly coming down, and then that'll be that, so that's quite nice. We're all set up for the arrival anyway now, pretty much. Hopefully it'll be a good landing. Keep our fingers crossed on that one. I do think X-Plane looks really good. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that it looks this good. You know, earlier we sat in economy. Maybe we should try sitting in first class now. I mean, even the Ryanair livery has first class, so I don't think it's not that realistic, but it's quite nice. I like that some passengers have their window blinds down and others don't as well. What are they even watching? What are the first class passengers all watching? They're all watching the same thing, look. You can actually hear that there's passengers in here as well. Yeah, there's the engine, look. I mean, look at that outside. It's cool. It can, I mean, I don't think this game can actually... I mean, there is an X-Plane 11 mobile. However, I'm not totally sure if it's the same game, but yeah, it does. I doubt the Zibo would run on the phone. I don't know, maybe it would, but it's probably a bit resource intensive if my PC is currently running at about 35 FPS-ish. But yeah, it does have a phone version. I don't think there's any other phone flight sim, is there? I think this is the only one that actually runs properly on phone. Because obviously all the other phone flight sims are kind of a bit of a joke, really. I mean, there's a few of them that are quite good, but most of them are just like little level kind of things, like level 1, level 2, like, and they're kind of bad. I don't think they're all bad. I think some of them are quite good, but yeah. X-Plane 10 mobile, not X-Plane 11. X-Plane 11 runs quite well as well. I could get better performance as well by running it on the Vulcan driver. However, apparently not all mods are kind of upgraded to run on the Vulcan driver. I'm running 11.5, but I'm not running on the Vulcan driver. So apparently that is something. Yeah, but it's cool, there's no lag. I've never actually tried X-Plane 10 on mobile. I don't really... I've never thought about getting X-Plane. It's a bit weird, really. I've never actually thought about it. I've just thought, you know, X-Plane looks kind of good, but I'm kind of stuck with, you know, FSX, that's the thing. I was probably happy to stay with FSX. Really, I don't know, I wouldn't have thought MSFS would run on phone. I think some guy, you know, this guy who does like low-spec YouTube videos on purpose, like he basically gets a PC that's really rubbish and tries to run really good games by fiddling around with the config files to get absolute bottom graphics, like lower than the game will let you change them yourself. I think he's called like low-spec gamer or something, and he managed to get Microsoft Flight Sim to run on a really bad PC, but like he had to basically delete all of the buildings, like all of them got deleted, and I think it's quite funny. By fiddling around with the config settings, you can basically turn it so It's almost like a preset that's like ultra low. Yeah, that's quite normal. Yeah, I mean, scams like that are there. They are kind of a pain. Yeah, this flight is clearly quite long because we're 2 hours into the stream now, so obviously, yeah. But it did take us a bit longer than normal to get off the ground, like maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, because we had to wait for this plane to land from where I rented it from in order to get it to work. I only just realised, actually, I totally forgot. I mean, I can actually do instant transportation, so it's fine. But I just realised I meant to put on my of the co-pilot to the flight so that they could take... My plan is, once this plane lands down in Verona, to get the most of the day's renting fees, may as well... yeah, maybe. Not bad. But yeah, to take advantage of the day, like kind of the fact you have to pay for a whole day's renting, you may as well use the plane. So I think this plane is going to fly back to Porto with my AI. I'll have a quick look now, but actually there's currently nothing down in wait, that's the wrong one, Villa Franca. Yeah, there is currently some flights, I think, going down to Porto, so I think I'll have a look at that, get my AI pilots to fly this flight back, so that'll be alright. It's pretty cool on Air Company. It allows you to do quite a few things with your flight sim. We're approaching Ninun, so we don't need to descend just yet. It's the next waypoint, Nedru. But we need to descend to flight level 390, and then we're climbing back up to 400 pretty much quickly after that. I don't know how powerful phones are. Maybe they are. Don't know. Only 347 miles to run now, actually, so not too far to go, which is cool. This game looks really nice. Also, good to report, the FPS has not been degrading. On this flight, it has stayed about 35, 40. It's a little bit lower at the moment because of the amount of clouds that are spawned in. However, still about 35. So I'm really impressed with that. The flight factor did seem to get, though, unfortunately, about 5 to 10 FPS lower than the Zibo. So I don't know how that's going to handle. Maybe that will be... because the Zibo, I think, is very good on FPS. Also, why are the throttles saying manual? Oh, dear. Have I been controlling the throttles this entire time? Oh no. Oh yeah, so something weird's going on here. Oh, never mind, it seems to be okay. I don't know, I can't tell. Yeah, I've only just noticed that. Yeah, the speed seems to be set in manual mode. Okay, it's gone FMC speed mode. Look, it says FMC speed. Although that flickering around does suggest. Oh, there you go. Actually, it does seem to be able to move by itself because I'm not doing that. It's suddenly, because of what I was doing fiddling around with the throttle, it gained speed. There you go. That's all good. Okay, I was wondering because it says manual. I was wondering if that meant it was on auto. It wasn't on auto thrust, but it is. So no worry. And you can see now our speed's dropped. It's suddenly realising and then bringing the power back in. So no worry. I don't know why. I just thought that then for a minute. Right, so we've just passed Ninun. So this will be good to check whether we're still on time or not. And obviously this will kind of help us with the fact of how accurate is this weather. We are 4 minutes behind schedule, so the weather, and we were only 1 minute behind schedule earlier. So yeah, the live weather, sadly, with X-Plane doesn't appear to be the best. The weather right now, where we are, is supposed to be the exact direction, but 30 knots, and it's currently 60 knots. So the direction is okay, which is okay, but that's nice. I mean, if I look at 34,000, yeah, I mean, right from 34 right up to 45, the wind is consistently 30 knots. So it's not a matter of us being at 40,000 feet. So it's a bit disappointing that the live weather is a bit poor. So I'll see how this is. I mean, if I have to get active sky, I will. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Obviously, as I said, the wind is a forecast, and it is for an hour in the future. So, and it was actually made 2 hours ago. So it's actually about 3 hours in the future. That weather report. So hopefully, we'll just say it's slightly wrong. However, to be out by 30 knots is a little bit worrying. That's why we have fallen slightly behind our planned flight time. I mean, it's only a couple of minutes, but it still makes a difference. We've fallen about 3 minutes off our planned flight time. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. Right, so after Nedru, we're descending to flight level 390. And then we're there for about 40 miles. No, actually a bit more than that. It's about 55 miles. I'd say 55 miles. And then we're back up to 400. So I do wonder about that. We'll see. Also, I think the reason we're falling slightly behind schedule is just the fact that we're also going slightly slower. Like, Coston X25 is quicker than the speed we're currently doing, I think. Currently we're still over France, and I think we're going directly over Italy. We're not going into Switzerland, no. That's fine. It's been pretty good so far today then, this flying. My on-air company's been doing good, as I said. My other 737 is just about to take off from Heathrow. Heading down to Santiago. .67 miles to Nedru, that's fine. Just checking on some of my planes, making sure that they've still got plenty of work to be doing, getting on with today, obviously. because why not? We did also get given an approach rating by the Zibo as well, so we can have a look at that later. Have a look at our performance landing thing now. This doesn't actually do anything. I've also discovered it does absolutely nothing. So I wonder whether, like, if you put this in, look, it doesn't do anything. Like, there's no way of pressing calculate. Why is it saying error when I put in 4 knots for the wind? That's weird. It says error. Okay, well, I don't think it is an error, but okay. I mean, it doesn't seem to do anything, the landing performance. So you can see there, actually, it does give you something. So I'm going to do all brakes 1, let's say. We're doing flaps 30. I don't know why it's refusing the wind. That's quite odd. But it's just refusing the wind. It's 3 knots right now. Unless it wants me to put that. Oh, that's what it wanted me to put. So this is actually quite a cool little feature, and the temperature is 6 degrees. So then say we skip over here, like, you can see there it is saying, so there's the approach, look. Is that supposed to be the runway? I can't tell. Landing distance available, look. So that's our touchdown point, look, and then we want to, and then there's our, and VREF 30 plus 5, look, there you go, 142, and that's with a landing weight of 56,000, I don't have kilos, I think, no, what's our actual landing weight? It's going to be, actually, okay, check this, it's going to be about 52,000, is it? We're losing another 2,000, so it's going to be about 51,000 kilograms. So, I misset that. There you go. Does that actually change anything? I don't know. Our speed, there you go. VREF plus 5 is now 135, look. So flaps 30 is fine. You can see there you go. It has changed. So touchdown point is there, look. And then we should easily roll to a stop using auto brakes 1 quite early. So that's fine. That's a cool little feature then, that works. You can't send anything to the FMC, you can't like interact with that, but it's pretty useful all the same. Yeah, I am a bit disappointed about the live weather though. I'm still saying it's 60 knots. So I said it does seem to be a little bit, I mean, where we are right now, and so the direction is okay, but it's supposed to be 30 knot wind, not 60. So I'll see if it gets better later on. But at the moment, it's a little bit annoying. I'll just retune a frequency because I messed that up. There we go. Obviously, I don't think X-Plane actually has any AI by default, although someone has actually made an AI, a real-time AI plugin that's free. So that's cool. My FPS just took a little dip then, although it's not too bad actually, it's just gone back up. Maybe it was loading something. That's probably what it was. We'll set our barrow actually, I haven't done that. Set our barrow for landing. ILS 04, it's going to be a Cat 1 ILS, Cat C, 432 on the barrow. There you go, 2 more jobs completed there, that's good. 432. And of course we can actually like hold down the scroll wheel for this, so it makes it a lot quicker than any of the other flight sims I've ever used before. So that's a really cool little feature. I do love the scroll wheel stuff on X-Plane, and it's pretty cool. Hold it down and then it just works, but it's great. We've got a bit of turbulence, I can't tell. I think we've got a little bit of turbulence. at the moment. Being bounced around a little bit. Doesn't really matter, it's not too bad. I don't even know how accurate it is, to be honest. Okay, right, only 240 miles to go. Direct, it's 258 miles non-direct. So yeah, we're closing in on Verona slowly. Whether we should actually bother descending to 39,000 feet and then climb again, so it's because of procedures with airways and whatever, so still stick to it, obviously. It was a bit of a weird route, really. We did get planned. It wasn't really intended like that, but that's what we ended up with. I know it's a bit weird using a 737 for a flight that's literally 2 passengers, but it's okay, isn't it? Gives us an opportunity to do a stream on X-Plane as well, so quite nice. Okay, the wind's actually died down a little bit, 53 knots. So again, you know, the weather for X-Plane maybe doesn't update as frequently as real life, because now it is actually starting to kind of come round. I mean, also I said update as much as real life. Obviously in real life weather doesn't update, it's just constant, but whatever. So new weather's actually come through for Verona, so I think we'll put that in, because the winds have changed quite a bit. Temperature's got up a little bit now, it's 7 degrees. Still a bit chilly, but it's a bit better, isn't it? So we want to head to there, and it's going to be wind of 130 at 4 and 7 degrees, and nothing else has changed, so I don't know if that would have changed. It would have probably changed our landing a little bit, however not an awful lot. VREF is still 135 knots, all the rest of it, auto brake 1, no anti-ice. Well, I don't know what AC is, just auto, I guess. I mean, it's probably not air conditioning, right? It probably isn't that. So you can see here, look, we can actually see where we're going down to 390, then back up to 400, all in the same stretch. Which makes me wonder what the point of it is, a little bit. However, we're still going to do it. I need to go to cruise, and then I need to put in 390. Execute that. Now if I put in 390, the plane should gradually start to descend. It'll do it very slowly because it doesn't want to upset, like, its cruise. Why is it saying check out target? Doesn't seem this plane wants to descend. Sometimes you need to turn the VNAV off and then on. There we go, that was the solution. So it's a very slow descent now, down to 39,000.
1,000 to go.
Obviously we'll just hit a little 1,000 to go thing every time, no matter. Obviously the plane is going to throttle down a bit, although I don't imagine a lot, because we're only descending 1,000 feet. And you can see already that the weather has actually died down quite a bit through this little descent, so maybe the weather was a lot higher, slightly up. I mean, maybe not. Then obviously we'll be climbing then after Lapri. Again, so I know it's a bit old, but that's kind of how it is. So yeah, down to 39,000, then we're basically there for a short bit of time. And then it's back up to 40,000 then in about 45 miles, and then that's about it. I know it's a bit old, but that's kind of it. It's kind of how it is. Never mind. Only 220 miles to go actually, so it's come down quite quickly in this later bit of the flight, the amount of time to go. Obviously we'll be back at 40,000 feet before long. You can see the wind is a good bit lower now. It's only 49 knots, which compared to where we're supposed to be at Rylip, the wind is supposed to be, again, same direction, about 25-30 knots. So again, the wind speed's come down, although still not quite perfect. I mean, it doesn't really matter quite as much. It's okay, I think. I'd say it's okay. And we'll get Avitab ready now as well with the charts, because I'm pretty sure we closed them. Why is there a... Oh, this is because I was trying to press W, wasn't it? My LIPX, you can see, is all the information about the airport itself. And then we go to... we're just going to get the airport charts up. I don't need any of the others. Only the airport charts. Why is it in night mode? Okay, there we go. But it's only really the airport chart that is most important to have with us. You know what, we'll get all of them up, why not? But it's like the Quality Wing 787. The Quality Wing 787 had this, however, unfortunately, with the Quality Wing 787, there was quite a bad bug that meant that when you switched it to Navigraph charts, it crashed the whole plane. And that never got fixed. I don't know why. I think it's because it couldn't verify that you have a Navigraph account, unlike this, which quite clearly asks you. This doesn't really do that. I'd like to try and swap. I don't know, I should have added these in the correct order. I thought it would put them in the correct order anyway. It does appear that if you don't open them in the correct order, it doesn't put them in the correct order. And there's no way of changing that, so that's a little bit annoying. However, live and learn, I guess. Next time we'll do it the proper way, round. Clouds have cleared a little bit. Obviously, it's not very cloudy in Verona, so it's what I'd expect, really. We've still got clouds in our few at 8,000 feet. Obviously, 8,000 feet is well out of the way. Obviously, the cruise altitude there is still set at 40,000. See, our actual cabin altitude is now 8,000 feet, which is about what you'd expect. Hello in the chat, hope you're enjoying the stream here in X-Plane. Got a new sim, because Microsoft Flight Sim is a pain. And first impressions, I will probably do a video actually, first impressions of X-Plane. But it's very good. I think I will do a review video on it, titled Why I Think X-Plane is Better Than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. See how many views that gets. Anyway. To be honest, there's one word that sums up why X-Plane is better than probably any other flight sim right now. Zibo. That's the one word. This Zibo 737 is absolutely amazing, and it's free. That's what I find. It's free. Can't get any better than that. Anyway, my excitement over free things over. I mean, free things are pretty amazing, right? But yeah, I hope everyone is enjoying the stream, everyone who tunes in. So the channel's been doing quite well lately. We're up to 142 subs, which is amazing. I know, it does look amazing, but that's what I find crazy. It's like, if I'd have known the X-Plane looked like this, I would have A, never bought Microsoft Flight Sim and bought this instead, and B, not understood the hype behind Microsoft Flight Sim, because unless you have a PC that can run Microsoft Flight Sim on Ultra, which you need a 3090 for, and a Ryzen 7, and 32 gig of RAM, which I don't have any of, and would cost about £2,000, so double the cost of my PC. Whoa, that was a bit of a violent bank then. Right, back up to 40,000 because we've ended that little airway that meant we had to be at 39,000 briefly. We should start climbing now. Yep, there we go. Up we go, climbing. I know it's a bit odd that this thing is that we have to go up and down a little bit, but that's kind of just how this flight is. We're able to we're descending at about 40 miles anyway, so it's a little bit odd, but never mind. Doesn't really matter, does it? The wind is actually very strong up here, so this is what I mean. I mean, X-Plane, that is the downside I have discovered. The live weather really doesn't seem very good. Again, the direction, starting to twist more towards us, is accurate. However, the wind is supposed to be, again, about 30 knots, not 75. So that is a bit of an issue that we are encountering here. If I turn off the VORs, that's a bit better if I turn them off. We'll keep that. Get more really on that screen then. But yeah, the live weather's definitely a bit bugged, because it means we're now doing like a lot more speed than we're meant to be. You know, we're doing about 30-40 knots more than we're supposed to be. Yeah, apparently the weather's based on Meta reports, that's why. So that's basically why. It's based on entire Meta reports, and that causes some issues. I think unfortunately, Active Sky may be needed for this game. I don't know, but I think it may be needed. I'm going to try and get away with just purchasing one license of it for my two PCs. However, apparently you can only activate them once. I never tried it with the FSX one, but apparently with this sort of thing, that say you only have one license, you do often have 2 or 3. The Wondershare for more editing software, I think, was one of them. It was like, you only have one license. I activated it on 2 PCs, absolutely fine. So, it's that does happen sometimes. So, I'll probably give that a go. I don't know how much it is. I think it's about £30, isn't it? €36, plus tax, and then convert it to pounds. So it's going to be about £40, which is a bit of a shame. However, you know, it is what it is. I thought the live weather is definitely a bit dodgy. It's definitely, I think the wind speeds are too high. For what they're meant to be. So the wind direction is okay, but I mean the wind speed has come down a little bit now, so it's kind of okay, although we are definitely a little bit behind. We're going to be hitting Verona in 8 minutes, about 2 hours and 1 minute into the flight, so we're about 3 minutes behind schedule on what we're meant to be, and obviously, you know, but I mean, that is kind of average though, to be fair, it's not too bad. I mean, 3 minutes over the course of just over 2 hours. We'd get that on FSX, to be fair, we'd get that on the new flight sim, we'd get it on pretty much anything. Any flight we're trying to do with 2 or 3 minutes here or there. Basically, if it's less than 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes on a longer flight, it's okay. But yeah, definitely 3 or 4 minutes either way is fine. Typically, he's late. I have found that. Typically, you are running slightly behind on what SimBrief says, so maybe it's a little bug within SimBrief. And obviously, also remember the fact that despite using cost index 25, this is probably a bug with the Zibo, maybe, I don't know. But despite running at cost index 25, we're only doing Mach 0.75, which is a little bit slow, I think. I think the Zibo 737 typically does more like Mach 77 at this cost index. So obviously that is a good 20 knots probably, I think, slower than we should be, which obviously would also impact over a 2-hour flight. I mean, that's 40 miles over a 2-hour flight. And that is a good couple of minutes. Right, we're descending in 18 miles now, so get ready for our descent down into Verona. Well, we'll just check our arrival. I did already check it beforehand. You can see there, look, basically just get onto the ILS and then it's a left turn, and then about it. It's a pretty straightforward approach, which I like. Very nice, very straightforward, basically. All brakes 1, I think we're going to be using, given the lack of, you know, exit points on the runway at Verona. You basically have to go full length. You can't do anything else on the runway, and it's 10,000 feet long. So that'll be perfect for all brakes 1, I think. Okay, so the wind has started to die down now. So again, maybe, you know, from what I read, it was based on Metal reports that were a little bit old. Again, you know, the heading the wind's coming from itself is pretty much perfect. However, it's 25 knots too fast. That's the issue. Being 25 knots too quick. So it's not the end of the world, it's just not maybe what we'd want. Oh, I accidentally put it into that mode there. Right, hour and 56 minutes into the flight, we're getting ready to descend. Only 7 miles, so we're going to set our first altitude restriction, which is 5,000 feet or below. Ready for our descent, that'll be. Being very nice right now. Just about to descend. 130 miles out, that's pretty much perfect. I mean, 40 times 3 is what, 120 in it? Yeah, 120. So 120 miles should be the minimum that we're descending from. So 131 is pretty much perfect. It'll be 131, I think. There you go, 131, and descent starts. You can see we'll get some really nice sounds now as the engines start to spool down. And you can see there, the Zibo's going to start trying to catch up with its little descent triangle, and then eventually it'll be okay. Yeah, X-Plane does look great. I love how it looks. I think it's, honestly, I mean, it's all about high settings-ish. I'll show you my settings now, actually. It's, so it's on high, medium, minimal. Because reflections always seem to cause kind of issues and things. And then obviously, if you want it to run even better, you can tick the use Vulkan driver. However, apparently some add-ons aren't compatible with Vulkan. So until I fully work out what's going on with what is compatible with Vulkan and what isn't, I'm going to leave it. Sending at about 2200 feet per minute, so that's pretty good. Drag required. I don't think that must be an error, because we're doing perfect speed on what the plane wants us to be doing. So never mind, we'll ignore that. Just check the weather for Verona, because it may have updated. Yeah, it has. It's now 100 at 6. Everything else is the same. Transition altitude was 6,000. Yeah. That's what it says on the chart. Also, we don't know the transition level, so 6,000. Yep, 6,000. Perfect. So what we want to do is basically just head back to home and put that in. So it's going to be 100 at 6. Meaning that the winds are actually a little bit more perfect for our runway. That's all. It doesn't really change much at all about our landing, just letting you know. And obviously our V-speed is roughly going to be 130. This is saying 132 and then add 5. So 137 is what we'll be setting our reference speed at. Because you always add 5 knots to it, really, I found. Right. Avitab, airport, there we go. Perfect, we'll stick that there. Put us down a 40 nautical mile range, I think. Probably best. I think we're starting to go a bit too slowly now, so I don't think trag's required. And yeah, X-Plane does look really cool. I mean, and we have contrails. I mean, who would have thought something so simple, contrails, it isn't in Microsoft Flight Sim. I know it's very small, but it's one of the biggest disappointments of that game. It's just like, it's something so simple that adds to the look of the game so much. It's so simple, even FSX has it. Like, that's the worst part about the new Flight Sim. I mean, there's things that its predecessor from 14 years ago had that it doesn't have. It's like if SCS released a Euro Truck Sim 3 and some of the trucks were missing, or some of the map was missing, or some of the trailers were missing. It's like, hang on a minute, you had these a minute ago, why don't you have them now? It's kind of crazy. It just doesn't work. Anyway, we are going a little bit slowly, actually. So, I don't know whether the plane should give it a bit more power than it is currently. There you go. In fact, as soon as I say that, it is giving it a little bit more power. That's kind of nice, because I think we were going a bit slowly there. I mean, it's not too bad anyway. Weirdly as well, I think that's a bit of a bug. ETA to destination 11:58, ETA to destination 12:02. So that's a bit odd. That I don't quite know what's going on there. Now, we have actually caught back up with our speed now. We're descending at the pretty standard 2,000 feet per minute. The contrail should actually disappear fairly soon. Depending on the temperature, you can see there the engines are spooling back down now. Yep, there we go, about 20 minutes then left to run to Verona, so not too far. That's good. So what the temperature is outside, does it say? Well, okay, true air temperature is -19, or total air temperature, I'm not totally sure which one it is. There's not really any clouds above Verona, I mean, so there were only, few. So few does basically mean practically non-existent when it says that. It needs to be broken or overcast for you to really notice that there's lots of clouds. Few and scattered are both quite little, really. I mean, you can sometimes notice them, but not really. I think few is more than scattered as well. I'm pretty sure. I know the terms sound quite vague, but I'm pretty sure few is more than scattered. I don't know. There is a term. I watched a Captain Joe video on it. It's based on eighths of the sky that are covered. So I think overcast is all eighths, like 8/8 are covered in cloud, and then broken is like 6/8, and then few is like 4/8, and then I think scattered is 2/8, and then obviously clear is 0/8. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. It's a bit vague with few and scattered. Can't quite remember what way around they are. Whatever it is, it's not a lot of cloud. Broken and overcast are kind of where you get loads of cloud from. Looks like whether they did actually just update, or maybe it just went a bit foggy. I don't know. The controls should have disappeared back now. 24,000 feet. Normally in FSX is when they start to disappear. I don't know what the code is in X-Plane for them. Obviously, it's probably going to be slightly different. Yeah, it's saying pretty nice. So this plane does seem to, like, just every now and then realise it's going slightly too slowly and then put up the power. Maybe the 737 does do that a bit in real life, or maybe it's a slight logic glitch with the Zibo. Obviously, you know, I said I'm not sure it is a community project. It probably isn't going to be quite the same level of bug-free as the PMDG is. Although I said, I mean, this plane is updated daily, so if you just use that, it kind of tells you it's actually okay. You can see there's our plane, look, appearing on the chart for our arrival into Verona there, so that's good. About to start the star. Only 80 miles to go, so not very far. We're going to chew that up quite quickly, I suspect. Before we even know it, it'll be like 50 miles away. And performance, still about 35 FPS, so it hasn't degraded, which for me is the most important thing. Obviously the new flight sim has quite a bad issue, even if it doesn't crash, where if you change practically any graphical setting or you leave the game running for a couple of hours, it instantly starts to really lag. And I mean really lag, I mean like 10 FPS, 5 FPS kind of stuff. I'm seeing if that screenshot works, I don't know. It says that shift and space is the key. However, I don't receive any acknowledgement that I have taken a screenshot, which you normally do. So it's a little bit unusual that I'm getting absolutely nothing about it being something there. Right, 73 miles to go, turning right now on to the start of the star. Throttles are just fully idled, because our descent speed increased a little bit. I suspect the controls are gone by now, yet. So that means they're pretty similar to FSX then, by about 20,000 feet they have gone. I will preset our QNH, it's going to be 1018. And it sets it on both sides? Yeah, perfect. That means that setting change I made might finally work now. Obviously not until 6,000 feet are we actually setting that. Just being nice and prepared, because we need to be prepared, right? We just passed TZO, and we are about, actually we've pulled back a bit of time, we're only 2 minutes behind now, so that does kind of say, you know, the live weather in the end of it is clearly quite good. If over 2 hours we've only lost 2 minutes, based on real life weather, considering the Zibo was a little bit slow as well, maybe. I think we've done a pretty good job with that. You know, I mean, 2 minutes over 2 hours, it's 1 minute an hour. If we're losing 1 minute an hour, that really ain't going to make much of a difference. And And as I said, with active sky, we'll probably lose the same sort of amount of time anyway. It's quite average, so I said, what I have to do is have a look at myself on VatSpy and compare my speeds to those in the area. And that's normally quite a good way of knowing how accurate your weather radar is, because obviously what SimBrief tells you is just a forecast. It's not going to be 100% accurate. However, what other people are getting using active sky in their sims is going to be more accurate. So base it off of that. I'm actually getting about 40 FPS now, so weirdly, as we seem to descend, the FPS gets better in X-Plane. I don't quite understand that. Maybe the contrails waste a bit of FPS, I don't know. That's really strange though. Because in MSFS, the higher you go, and I think in most flight sims, the higher you go, the better the FPS, because obviously things on the ground aren't being rendered. Although maybe somehow being lower, I don't know, that does confuse me a little bit. Right, 15,000 feet, on go the seatbelt signs. I think it's a good opportunity to turn them on about now. Go down to 20 nautical mile range now, because I'm starting to be able to see far too many waypoints in the distance, as we are only 59 miles away from Verona, so we're closing in on it, definitely. And there's the decel point at Ekdog to allow us to descend down to slow down for the 250 knots at 10,000 limit. And obviously we'll be putting the landing lights on and all that. Just check that my approach speed haven't changed. So 132 plus 5, it's going to be 137, our reference speed for today. It is weird because it does actually say wind correction plus 5. So it doesn't seem to do that though. Who knows? Right, let's actually whack our ILS frequency to the active position. So 111.75, just whack that into the active position so we can see what's going on with it later on. Once we have to activate it, obviously. Alright, 12,000 feet, so approaching the area where all air will allow us to turn on the landing lights. We're going to do it at about 11,000 feet, I think. But below 12,000 on air is allowed. It's okay with having you turning them on, in case anyone was wondering. Right, so we're going to head along here to Ablid, and then it'll be a left turn, and then there's the airfield, look, you can see on our little chart. Don't think I'm going to be visible on the ILS chart yet, nope. So we'll keep ourselves like that. Right, we should start to slow down now. Okay, there's the speed restriction point. This thing should start level off to let the speed drain naturally. That's what it should do. And it is doing that pretty well. So that's nice. You can see there's the speed going down. Landing lights on. And you can see there you go, our speed going down very nicely. So that's perfect. See, there's our basic checklist. Look, you can move it through exactly like it is in the PMDG. It's pretty cool looking. Obviously, you can't hide. You can only hide the yoke in X-Plane. You can't actually make it go down. Rather, you have to hide it, which isn't as realistic, I guess. But it's okay. I don't mind it at all. There we go. We are fully slowed down before 10,000 feet. So that did a good job of that. Did a very good job of that, and we're slowing down at Adsas then for Ablid. Obviously we'll be below 210 knots, but there. Right, 43 miles to go, so... Right, we are approaching the final bit of this flight, and there's another job is delivered in our air company. That's nice. Hopefully the speed will get low enough now so that the auto throttle. That's one thing I have found with the Zibo. The auto throttle doesn't seem to kick in. I mean, I think the real life 737 might be a bit like that. But until you're 15 knots below your target speed, the auto throttle doesn't actually kick in. to tell you to like get the plane to speed up. I think it's probably like that in real life. I mean, it's okay, isn't it? It's not too bad. Maybe it's not quite what the PMDG does, but it's alright. Again, as well, the PMDG 737 for FSX could be a little bit out of date by now. I mean, I think it's about 8 years old. The actual FSX PMDG 737. Obviously, they have redone it since then. They made the NGXU for P3D version 4 and 5. So it's not the newest 737 that they've made. The one that I've used before. I mean, here we are, look, about 8,000 feet. I'd say I mean, it's not quite, I'd say this is more like scattered. I mean, no, not even scattered, but there are some clouds at 8,000 feet, so it's not a total lie. Should we do a flyby? I imagine we're going a lot slower now for a flyby, yeah. Noticeably slower. It's crazy that you say, oh, we're going really slowly, but it's actually... It's not exactly that slow, is it? Oh, like Shift W is like a 2D cockpit or something, though. That's cool. Right, so when the transition altitude is 6,000, QNH is 1018. I will just check that on the METAR, make sure there hasn't been a new one. There hasn't. However, the last METAR was 32 minutes ago, so there will be a new one very soon, because the website I'm using, which if you haven't got any access to, Active Sky or something, is great. It's windy.com. It seems to actually provide the METARs quicker than anything else I've ever used. That's by Active Sky even. It is very quick. It normally within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the time, it normally has the METAR available, which is pretty cool. Right, 5 miles from Adsas, where we're going to start slowing down to 210 knots. And I'm going to put this down to 3,000 now, which is the ILS altitude, because we're only 30 miles away now, so we're very close to approach now on this flight. Obviously we'll be setting active pressure in a little bit. And so there are a few clouds in the area, so that's pretty nice. We'll get the ILS chart open now. You can see we're on the ILS chart now. Heading into Ablid. It's so cool that you can do that. It is like a third monitor, which if you don't have or second monitor, I guess. If you don't have that extra monitor, it's a great little thing. I mean, how did I pop it out earlier? Earlier I somehow popped it out. There we go. It's really cool, that, because you can... I mean, not only because I've read my route off it earlier. I mean, actually, it can't go quite low down enough for that, or it can go there, which is suitable. But you can pop it here, look, and it is like a little third monitor. So say you're like lost in an airport, you can just have it directly in front of you. Right, there you go. Standard pressure is now off. Yeah, I'll pop it back there. There we go, that's better. Oh, what's going on here? I'm trying to get back in the right position. There we go. Anyway, on to the approach then. Approach is going to be armed. So like that. Get on with it. Auto brake set to 1. Engines continuous. Maybe a bit early for that, I don't know. Speed brake armed. Did I not? Oh yeah, I forgot there was no control for it, was there? Weirdly. We'll arm it like that. There didn't appear to be a control for the arming of the speed brake. I don't know why. Down to 3,000. We're just going to be following a VNAV path now until we intercept the glide slope and localizer. We actually have the localizer. The glide slope isn't going to come in until a bit later. Go on altitude. We'll be able to get from here 3,000 feet. Awesome. So now I can bring up the airport chart there. Cool. So speed's a little bit high. So I'll bring in flaps 1 and we'll take manual control of our speed now, and we're still 18 miles out actually. So I'll set 200 knots speed. We'll go flaps 2. Oh, okay, flaps 5 then. It was by accident that. You can hear the trim wheel going mad. I would like to know how to set wing views. I haven't quite figured that out yet. There doesn't seem to be one by default.
Thousand to go.
There we go. So you can see we're 1,000 feet off our altitude target now of 3,000. We'll hold it 3,000 until obviously until we pick up the glide slope. Obviously, I can see now where I'm going. So unlike my landing on the taxiway and mess up in Santiago, Santiago in Spain. Oh, so the skip barber, yeah. At the moment, I use auto clutch because, well, it's actually just basically it's a little bit easier, and then on top of the fact that I do race a lot of GT cars that only use paddle shifting, they don't use anything like that. But no, I did literally just downshift. Kind of, I use the paddles basically. I do have like a stick shifter thing. I don't even race the skip barber a lot, to be honest. I don't know. I've never been able to get any pace out of it. That might be why. But yeah, I never get any pace out of the skip barber. I'm quite quick, really. In well, saying that, the Pontiacs and things that use the Pontiacs and whatever that use that kind of shifting as well. It's fine using auto clutch with that. They seem to be quite quick. With it, although they're saying that this season I've been a lot slower in the Pontiac than I was last season. I don't know why. I haven't been doing a lot of the SLPCC. Although they're saying that this week the SLPCC went to Phoenix, and I can't stand that track. I don't like oval road courses. Like I said, they tend to basically be half oval and then half really tight infield corners that are better suited to rallycross because that's what they normally do. That's kind of the problem with infield road tracks. I don't like them. 10 miles to go, so we're going to go 180 knots. We're going to go flaps 10 without the plane shouting at us. So that's what we're going to do. Our landing weight should be about 51,000 kilos. Yeah, it's actually more like 52,000, however, it doesn't affect our speed that much. So that's okay. But yeah, this week I've been doing a lot of Ferrari GT3. I've been doing tons of it. I've come across quite a few pro drivers as well. I was racing Louis Delatraz in one of them. I actually beat him because he spun out. It was him. I checked his profile afterwards, but I don't know who else would be in that area of the world, like Switzerland area, called Louis Delatraz. And then I came across Benjamin Hites yesterday. So yeah, we've come across a Formula 2 driver and a GT World Challenge Europe driver this week. This is what I mean. I think the X-Plane live weather suddenly loads in like very low cloud when you're approaching an airport. This is not what the METAR says. Like, even if it does download it now in the wrong place. Okay, yeah, there's some weird shading on these now. That could be to do with the reflection detail, maybe. Those going a bit funny. That might be why. Right, 6 miles to go. Gear down. I'll go flaps 30, that's what we're using, so we're quite light, so no need to go full flaps for today. And then we'll go speed 137, so it's 132 plus 5, 137. You can see the airport. Actually, I can't see it just yet, because these clouds have mysteriously appeared. I could see the airport for a bit, and then they just disappeared. This kind of fog appeared. So yeah, again, this does make me wonder about the accuracy of X-Plane's live weather. I mean, it's better visibility than I was landing in Santiago with, as in I can actually see. The thing is, Santiago did actually have quite low cloud. It was reported. Oh, there you go, I can see the runway now. We can disengage the autopilot and the auto throttle. Actually, I wouldn't mind sitting a bit further back so I can actually see the full extent of where I'm going. There we go, that's better. So now I can see the localizer. You can see the flight was supposed to be 2024, 2023, and we're here. And now, actually, after experiencing how the Zibo flies, obviously I couldn't see how the Zibo was flying when I flew it yesterday, when it was really bad. Really bad weather. I couldn't actually see what I was doing because of the that's how cloudy it was. It was literally just white. So, oh, we're a little bit high actually. It's a bit floaty. I have heard that from people that the Zibo is a bit floaty to fly. Apparently the 737 is a bit like that in real life. That's why airlines like Ryanair do have quite hard landings, because they just want to plant the plane down.
Think rate.
I am going a little bit overboard here. I was a little bit too high there. I didn't realise the plane was. I think the plane was descending quite well, and then so I changed the throttle. Okay, minimums, continue. We're okay. I think we do have to just deal with the plane a little bit like that. It feels very smooth to fly though, I've got to say it. And then we go out to an awesome touchdown, minus 250 feet. And reverse is out. And 80 knots, reverse is in.
80 knots.
Also, we don't want to try too hard to slow ourselves down. There we go. Hello and welcome everyone to Verona Villafranca Airport. Get all that set up. Manual braking, all brakes off. And there we go. Noticeable steering still works as well. Cool. And stop the clock there. Actually, in the end, bang on time. So that does say that the live weather is clearly pretty good if we're bang on time. Means it's not appalling, whatever it is. Why is there a plane there? I got parked aircraft turned off. Weird. But there we go. And this plane feels a joy to fly. Gotta say. Right, flaps in. Speed brakes disarmed. There we go. Hello and welcome everybody to Verona Villafranca Airport, where we do have, for some reason, parked aircraft, despite the fact that they are actually unticked. Never mind. And I got myself stuck on the seat again. There we go. Okay, so we are here in Verona. We're going to taxi straight ahead. We're going to take these remote stands in again. Look at this scenery. It's awesome. It looks like the sort of good freeware scenery that I get from FSX. Like the actual add-ons I downloaded. It looks like them, but it comes with the game by default. Right, there we are. FPS is really good now. We've slowed down a little bit. 40 FPS we're getting. Very nice. And we'll taxi in here. It's not the most accurate of scenery. That is because Verona actually did have a little bit of an update on how it has its stands, like this year. Which is why some of the stands do look a little bit, yeah, they are a little bit wrong. I remember that from flying here in FSX. The stands, they basically changed how they did the stands in Verona, however, not too bad. Yeah, good landing that, all done. Park next to these air stairs, I guess. I know it's not the right scenery, but it's okay nonetheless. And the brakes don't work. Oh, there you go. They were working after a while. There you go. Idle it. Parking brakes on. Just check the APU is on. It is. And engine 1 off. Engine 2 off. And there we go. Cool little flight there. Right. Oh, rip. I forgot to turn off my lights. That got me a... That got me a little bit of a penalty from on air, only 0.01%, don't worry. And it also lost me my safety bonus. Oh, actually that's because of... Yeah, that's because I got... Yeah, so get this. This is what I mean. More than 250 knots under flight level 100. In brackets, the speed that I actually did, 250 knots. Yeah, sure. And I lose my my XP bonus for that. Well, I don't actually lose my reputation bonus, so it's okay. I guess. Right, all done then. Let's get the beacon light on. Off, I mean. Packs, we'll just keep them as is. Head to ground services. Chocks on. Parking brakes off. GPU connect. Ground power on. Okay, I can't make it. APU off. Fuel pumps off. And elect gens off. Prop heat's off. And there we go. That is about it. Let's get the... Well, do we need air stairs or the doors we've got here are good enough? Okay, yeah, those air stairs are in slightly the wrong position. We can actually call X-Plane's ground crew. See how good they are. How do I do that anyway? How do I call X-Plane's ground crew? I thought it was a little button. Oh, here you go. It might be here. I thought it was somewhere around here. Flight? I don't know, I thought there was something here that allowed me to activate ground crew. Obviously not. I don't know. I don't know why I thought there was something that I could do. Control G? Nope. Shift G? Oh, there you go. Shift G. Request ground services. There we go.
Okay, service truck. All right, service is on the way.
So that's cool. That means that the AI are on their way. Open up all our doors that we need. And start service crews on ground. And then we'll do a quick PA announcement. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh well. That's prepare for landing. We've already landed. Oh well. There we are. Here you go. The ground crew actually seems to be a bit stuck because of my... I don't know actually. Is that catering truck coming for us? Looks like they are. This is cool. This is what I like about X-Plane as well. You actually get full-on decent... you get full-on pretty decent ground crew for free. Again, don't get that in any other flight sim, I don't think. So, there they are. I guess it's a limo because there's very few people on board. You can see, I think we do need... So there they are, look. Anyway, hope everyone really enjoyed that flight. I'll just pop the camera there. There we are, that's a good camera, isn't it? Anyway guys, hope you really enjoyed this one. I'm really liking X-Plane. I'll be sure to do many, many flights in it. Anyway guys, hope you really enjoyed this one. I'll leave you with the background music and the end screen. Bye-bye! Just remembered, X-Plane has a replay mode. Let's use it. Okay, looks like we won't use the replay mode anymore. Rip. Well, good job we didn't use that in the middle of the flight, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, anyway guys, I hope you really enjoyed that one. By the way, it did unfreeze. Forget that. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we didn't freeze.